What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH, and to be honest, I'd like to welcome you back to the Gaming Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned in to episode 165. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify because we need your 5-star rating to move up in the charts and bring in new listeners. Also, follow the podcast on social media. We drop daily content on there. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Our handle on every platform is at GI Updates. If you want to join the Discord, it's discord.gg/GI Updates. Get some games in with us, talk to shit, memes, all that. Links to all our social medias will be in the description box below, the video version at youtube.com/GI Updates. Now, allow me to introduce you to my co-host. The first of which hails from the city of Detroit, so it is in fact true.
Stop.
He built his own car.
Stop. No, freestyle. This is so old and irrelevant. This is the best. I'm actually disappointed. I read this. I was ready to look at something really nice, a really nice intro. I was like, what's he going to come up with this week? This is disappointing, bro. I'm going to need you to do better next time. This is not even good.
So you don't, hold on. So you don't deny that you built your own car, being a Detroit native, to ride around for the Popeyes chicken ethos?
No, I did not. No, I actually did not. So these are infactual statements.
Yes, you did.
This is honestly disappointing. I really thought better of you, TBH. You had some zingers on me like for the last couple of like podcast episodes. This one's kind of like low effort. I give you like a Destiny. I give you a 6 out of 10.
Well, the world is going to shit right now. Maybe I'm not in a funny mood.
No, you're right. Let's talk about it. There's protesting going outside right now. Go ahead, switch your camera and show them outside right now. Show the chaos of LA right now. Show outside your window.
Which, by the way, for the people who aren't from here, it's a fucking lie. But anyways, Ethos, say what up to the people.
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right.
Tro. And my second co-host just finished streaming herself getting a headache on Liza P's DLC just to hop on this podcast and get a headache from us three. What up, Miss Watts? Say what up to the people.
Hello. Liza P has prepared me for the great Nightreign war that is going to happen tonight. So
you predict a war?
I'm prepared. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's worse than LA. Yeah. It's worse.
And last but certainly not least is the podcast's own residential Florida man with powerful feats such as blocking a hurricane with his big ass forehead. UTXJG the Don. Say what up to the people.
See, now that's good.
All right. Yeah, you gotta check out of me with that one.
So it's good because it's JG, but it wasn't good against you. Okay.
It wasn't good.
Okay.
Anyways, hello people. We are here with another podcast, the most consistent group that there is doing this game and stuff. But let's get to it.
Okay. So since the last show, a lot has happened, but we've broken it down. And for this show, we're going to start it off with Expedition 33, a game that a lot of people are calling the definitive game of the year. I just completed Act 1, so I'm not comfortable saying that yet, although I am leaning towards it. We'll get into that later. This is a game that's made by some former devs. I think of like Ubisoft and some other studios. It's a small 30-man team. It's an RPG that's very unique. It's probably the most interactive turn-based RPG that I've ever played. The story's kind of still unraveling for me. The graphics are amazing, but I believe Ethos, you beat it already, right?
Expedition? Yes. I think you're the only one who hasn't beaten it.
Okay, so give me the 411. What's the good?
Yeah, I beat it. Watch beat it.
My bad. I was beating another game. I was busy. Did you beat?
Oh, here you go. Look at
you. Did you beat Kazaa?
Doesn't matter. I'm still too ahead.
Now it doesn't matter. You see the agendas?
I'm still too ahead.
That's crazy. Anyways, give me the good, bad, and ugly.
About Expedition. I mean, there's no ugly. There's no.
I disagree. But go ahead.
I'd say. Oh, you go ahead, TVH. Tell us. You're the one who has the shortest amount of time playing the game. Tell us, TVH, and your great infinite wisdom. What's ugly about it?
The uglies for this game is small things. I think the navigation could be a little bit better.
Handheld. I understand.
Yes. I catch myself running in circles a lot because some of the environments look a little too samey. And then the real bad one is the platforming. Like there's platforming sections in this game where you got to collect items that are like high up and like it's just not tight and concise. And I come from the school of Mario, Jack, and Dexter. I'm like, if you're gonna put that in the game, it's got to be better. It is me nitpicking, But there were a couple negatives. For the most part, I do understand why people love this game. But go ahead, share your opinion.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, look,
I hate the
you see this fucking fraud, bro? This fucking fraud.
I just forgot. It's been a while since I played it, so I remember me and Watts were on Twitter talking about it. I was like, I hate this. I hate these platforming sections. It's like, it's a joke. I was like, I know, but I still hate them. I agree with that. Luckily, like, I agree with Watch brings up. This is like, it is optional, so you're not forced to do those segments. But I think you're missing out on some like unlockable stuff if you don't do them. But outside of that stuff, which I still think that they're like, it's like me nitpicking. I will say just though, overall, the game is a masterpiece. Absolute cinema. Game of the year. There is no equal. I don't think there's a game that's going to even come close this year. Honestly, I thank the heavens that GTA did not come out this year, because I didn't want to argue with people online about debating against GTA 6 and this game. I just did not want to deal with that Discord. So I thank you, Rockstar, for not letting it come out this year. God forbid whatever big games comes out next year with GTA, and we gotta have that argument. But I think it's literally almost perfect. Like, outside of those little small nitpicks, I think it's like almost as close as you can get to like a perfect RPG. It's got customization, it's got a good story. I have a phenomenal story, great plot twists, great character development, phenomenal music, good graphics, amazing gameplay. Actually did something unique with turn-based gameplay, added a cool little like active way. So I feel like sometimes people get very passive when they play JRPGs. Like, it's very like, I can play this very slowly, but because it makes it very active in your defense, instead of just hitting an option, it forces the player to like stay active when they're playing the game. You can't sleep while playing the game. The game is challenging depending on where you play it. Golly, the voice acting, my God, the performances, everything. It's just damn, it's good. It's good. It's even as a developer, I'm looking at this shit like, oh my God, this is too good. Like, I'm talking like you sacrificed a goat or something. Like, y'all was doing something. Y'all was doing some ritual, something, little secret ritual meetings at night or something. I don't know. They did a phenomenal job. The thing I thought the game was going to suffer, I thought the performance was going to suffer on this game based off of the demo. Because a couple friends told me they played the demo, and they was like, the performance is a little bit But then to feel like the whole game comes out and they're like, actually, the performance is perfect. And it's a UE5 game. And people are like, what? Like, that was a shocker. So for me, honestly, bro, it's like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, that 0.5 might be just the nitpicky stuff, but like, it's damn near close to a masterpiece. I think this might be I think it might be close to touching my top 10 of all time. I think it might be close. It's definitely in the top 20, but it might actually hit the top 10. Maybe. I have to look back, but you
gotta let it marinate. You don't want to let it you don't want to get caught up in the moment.
Yeah, I gotta look back at my entire top 10 list, but I think like it could be knocking on that door. Probably, I'd have to rethink them, but yeah, it's probably close.
How you feeling about the game, Watts?
It might be my favorite game because it does something like everything that Ethos said is totally true. Like, the gameplay is amazing. The music is some of the greatest music that's ever been in a video game. And because they don't even just have one genre, they touch a bunch of different genres. They've got jazz in there. They've got like opera. They've got classical French music. Like, they touch everything and it's all banging. But the other thing for me that really kind of tips it into being like, damn, this might be my favorite game, is because the way they touch on a bunch of subjects that make you really understand it. And I think one of those is grief. And like, not going into spoilers because you haven't finished. I will not go into spoilers anyway. I won't go into any spoilers at all, but like, leaving that game, it felt like a taste of what it means to really grieve, to like truly grieve something. And the way that they managed to portray that and portray all the ways that different people, different personality types react to these things was so smart and so clever and so true and so genuine. And like, it's not just really good voice acting and really good direction. It's like characters will interrupt each other. It feels like a natural conversation, like you're just listening to people talk. It's truly an incredible thing that they've created. And I would say, I've said this all the time, even if you hate turn-based games, you will love this game. Because when people are like, oh, it's a turn-based game, I'm like, yeah, it's a turn-based game.
As in they have a big turn and you don't. The enemies have a big turn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you like really good combat with really good story and incredible music and a beautiful world, that you will love this game. And like the fact that you would think that because you have to do the defensive actions with dodging and parrying, that maybe like build crafting or something might suffer from that because you have to have all these action pieces, but it doesn't. There's so many weapons, and just when you think you've got all the weapons, you have not gotten all the weapons, and you just keep making builds and builds and builds. I've probably spent like 20 hours alone making builds in this game because I'm like, oh, I made a new thing, gotta make a new build for this person. It's just a phenomenal thing. I really, really, really recommend it to literally anyone, and it's not even a full price game, and it was on Game Pass. Just you gotta play
Game
it.
Pass provides.
It is providing.
The Game Pass mission
providing.
speaks.
What's the word, JG?
This game is a pure labor of love. It's another one of those games, just like Elden Ring, right? Like we're seeing some people. It's funny because some of our mutuals are playing the base Elden Ring again, and I'm just like, it's hilarious because like people are tuned in just to watch them struggle. Like that game still has staying power, but this game was the exact same way, right? Like I didn't feel like a lot of people were into turn-based games, or they didn't grow up in that era of turn-based games outside of Persona. But you know, it's either you really love Persona and you're into it, or you're not. And I'm one of those people who are kind of not, just because more of the story. But it's so funny because like through word of mouth, once again, people started getting into this game. I've seen so many people's like, oh man, I hear about Expedition 33. You know, should I play it? Should I play it? And you know, everybody's like emphatically, yes. Yeah. Like, please do not miss this game because it's like that, right? So it's another one of those games that through word of mouth, more and more people started getting into it. And it even got to a point where people started saying turn-based RPGs are back. And I'm like, well, technically they never left. Y'all just don't play them, right? like you gotta box, but they're still there. You just have to get into the other type of game. Multi-JRPGs are still turn-based. So again, with that being said, pretty much everything that Watson and Nito said, you know, I totally you know, once you start getting into like the system of the Pictos and Illuminas, like you like think you start really getting into the builds. I remember when this game was first announced, right? I had no clue what this game was about. I was like, well, what the heck? And then once I started playing the game and we started learning like the mechanics of the dodging and the parrying, and then you get into Act 1, and right at the end of Act 1, you're like, what the hell? What did I just watch? Like that got me totally into it at the beginning. Like we had this little like sad moment, and then we really got into the nitty gritty. I love when someone is not afraid to kill all people like at the beginning, right? Like you're not afraid to let people, you know, last until the end. You're like, no, get straight to it. Like we're gonna get straight into the action. And I wasn't expecting it. And when I saw that, I said, holy shit, this game is great. Like I didn't even have to really get into, because it got better, but Act 1 was super insane. And that's what really got me into it. I think everybody's jaw dropped at the same moment too, like just playing through Act 1 and seeing what happened with that. So I just figured like at that point the story was going to be off the chain. Once you get into Act 2 and 3, like 3 is when it really starts opening up. So once you get to that Tibet, you will fully understand. But like the environments are great. Like nothing really looks the same. I love how they, you know, have the different elements and the different like the stronger enemies. They're the chromatic enemies, you know, in certain places. Like it's a lot of things for you to explore and challenge. Like a lot of these bosses just outright challenging. So I just love that whole aspect as well. Like this game was, it far exceeded I think anybody's expectations of like what they thought this game was going to be, especially with such a small development team. Everybody, like I think that they honestly are setting the bar now. They're like I feel like this should be a reset, and this should be a wake up call to pretty much every developer now to, you know, really, like you could still make quality games and you don't need a team of 100 people in order to do it. As long as you take the time and you care about, you know, what you're making, then I think that you can make an amazing product. You don't have to make a live service game. You don't have to make a game last 5 years. quality game, I don't care how long it is, 20, 30 hours. Like if it's the same quality as this and a small team of 30 people made this, and anybody can do something like this. You just gotta take the time to do it. So I recommend this game to I don't care if you don't like RPGs, just play it, because I feel like you'll be doing yourself a disservice, and you know, I might be on the ethos and watch, like, this may be up there for me. This is one of the best games that I played probably since Elden Ring, to be honest. Like, one of the best games I've ever played.
Freaking.
You know what's crazy is, oh, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, it's kind of funny too, because I feel like this is a callback to if you think about it, in the past 5 years, we've had multiple turn-based games that have been Game of the Year. Like, even before this, like, we had like Baldur's Gate, which was huge, just like this game. And I was thinking back about how when Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year, remember when I think his name was like Sven, when he came up, he's like the studio head. When he came up, he had that speech when they were trying to wrap it up, but he had that very inspiring speech about talking about how, like, his, like, not even how Baldur's Gate wins, but how he predicts basically what's happening right now. He says that in the future you're going to see these games that are made because they wanted to make the game, and because they want to make a game that they want themselves, and not these games that are trying to hit targets and not try to hit target audiences and try to grasp a bunch of people. And we've seen that from like the past couple of games that have come out that have been like Game of the Year nominated or Game of the Years. Is that there's these games that are like, how many times have we said, like, in the past 5 years has been, this game came out of nowhere, or oh my god, I did not expect that this game was going to end up being as good as it was, or like, Jesus, was like an instant like Game of the Year. And it's just like, it's just a telling, I think, now of there are so many talented people that are working games, and the barrier to create games has gotten so thin that everybody can make video games now. And this opens up such a creative breadth of like brand new visions and ideas, people being able to make whatever their stories are and whatever things that they want to build. And you know what's crazy? We was just talking about South of Midnight, talking about like that type of culture, like Black culture, the Southern culture, that sort of thing. And now we're talking about, now we got French culture over here. With their baguettes and their swimsuits and all that stuff.
Hey, can I say, hold on. Since you brought that up, since the last podcast, I beat South of Midnight too. That's another game I beat. I don't know if JG did.
Oh, perfect.
I beat South of Midnight. I just want to talk about that real quick. That fucking ending was insane. That I hate that bitch is crazy. if you have Game Pass, please play it. Like, some of the gripes people have about some of the gameplay being a little bit repetitive, it's true. If they just clean that up and add a deeper combo system, I'm telling you, the music, the story is so, and the ending, my jaw was dropped at I was like, that might be the most evil individual, because like, it's deep on so many different levels on what that person did, but I don't really want to spoil it. But I just wanted to bring that up because you said that.
What I love too, which is also, I think Watts will find is hilarious, is there's actually parallels, which I find is hilarious, because you were talking about grief. There's parallels with, I think, Expedition and South, and it's hilarious how both of these games came out this year, and they're both telling a very similar theme and a very similar story, which is this idea of grieving. I don't know. I just think that this game's like really good. This game is right now on a pedestal that I don't think a lot of games are going to be able to touch.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I thought Split Fiction had it in the bag before. I was like, there's no way something can Split Fiction. And for just a game to come out next month and be like, bang, it's just like, dang, bro, can y'all relax 1 minute?
This is the thing. People keep going like, well, Ghost of Yotei is coming out. I'm like, yeah, I love Ghost of Tsushima, but I'm like, you guys don't understand. We all sound crazy when we talk about this game, but this is like one of the greatest games ever made. Like, this isn't just like a good game this year. This is like one of the greatest experiences that you can have.
How long did it take y'all to beat the game?
Ooh, you asked Watts, and you gonna get a different answer.
I got 13 hours so far off Act 1.
I finished the main story at 82 hours. That's with me doing, like, the last thing that I had was, well, the very last thing is the super boss, but I did everything besides that super boss before I finished the story. So I technically beat a bunch of things before you're supposed to. You can with Expedition 33, you can beat things whenever you want, because you just have to parry and you can win. But I did things when I shouldn't have.
1.3 days. I guess that's like
24 hours,
almost 30 hours. Because I got screwed. JGU mother. I thought I was gonna be done with the game. I was like, I think I'm getting close to the game. It feels like it's climaxing. I think I'm almost done. And then I'm like, JG and Siggy, I think I'm almost there. They're like, oh, okay, sure. And then there's like a moment where you think you're done with the game, and the game's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, God, I have to keep. I thought I was gonna be done at like, I got to like 15. It feels like halfway through the game, you feel like you're like getting to the end, and you don't, and you're just like, oh my God, I have to keep going. And I got to go back and play it because I was told. How do I word this? I'll make sure I spoil it. So there's New Game Plus. But the game's leveling lets you can go to 90. I think by the time you get close to beating the game, I was like around, was it the 50 mark? I think it was like level 50, but I think you can go to level 90.
Dude, I'm already at like 94.
Yeah, but I was asking because I was like, there's a lot of side content, and I think you can.
There's a lot of side content.
Okay,
Honestly, more than half the game.
That's why I was confused. You just said 30. I was like,
side content.
I was like 30. I got 13 hours off the first act alone. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have more hours than you by the end of the game.
Act 2 is much longer. Act 2
is super long.
But I haven't been. But the point I'm trying to make is I haven't been struggling at all. Like I've been, even like the bosses, even the side. I've been. The only time I think I really struggled was maybe the pink sheep at the beginning. But other than that, I've been running through everybody.
Yeah, he was running to that pink sheep.
But even still, I spent that hour on it. Like at the beginning, that's the longest I've spent. I beat every boss on the first try.
Have you fought that Elden Ring boss, the one that like I showed that clip of
in the group chat?
Yeah, the one that had like the.
No, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay,
he's getting.
You're
there.
gonna be close to that, I think. Because you're just entered Act 2, I think.
Yeah,
he beat the lamp boss.
I'm just exploring the open world right now.
Lamp boss wasn't even difficult. It was just more of it just had so many hands, and so you're trying to track what's.
It was like a mini game too.
Yeah, the chat has been like backseating and talking so much shit to me, and I'm just like, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
The dual one is scarier, but I think it's just because it feels like a legit Elden Ring boss, and it's very intimidating. Like the design of it, I think compared to.
I had a little trouble with that rock boss.
Wait till you find Sprong, my friend. Wait till you find.
Yeah, the rock boss was annoying.
The rock boss is
Until I figured out the gimmick, then I was like, oh, okay.
Once I figured it out too, I was like, okay. But to answer your question, it says on Game Pass I have 3 days, 24 minutes.
So you got 72.
And I did a lot of exploring. Dude,
I did. I found every outfit, 50 plus. Every journal, I did everything.
I want to explore the game.
I'm telling, like, the side content is probably my favorite in terms of combat wise. All of the side bosses are definitely my favorite experiences. So I definitely recommend searching those out.
If you like
I said, once it opens up, you'll fully understand. You'll have that same feeling. Those have when he thought he was done, but you're not done. You're like, I understand.
I mean, I
already 13 hours in. I have a lot of thoughts. Like, I apologize, I'm gonna be all over the place. The first thought I have is, I'm playing this in this kind of like sensitive era where, like, I don't know if you guys remember, like a few months ago, Elon tweeted on Twitter that he wanted to make an AI-driven game studio because games have become too woke. And like my first thing I want to say about this game is while playing it, I was like, AI can't make this shit. Like this is a very human. It when I say this, you got to understand. It's like JG said, it's a labor of love, and you have to play it to understand. I'm talking about artistically, the music, just the special effects on the screen, the way the characters move, the voice acting, the entire production. I'm like, oh, this is very human. AI cannot make this shit, and it makes it better for it. Plus the storytelling. Then, like I said, you guys were talking about earlier with the end of Act 1. That's where I just got to the end of. So when I first started playing the game, I was like, okay, this is good. I was sitting on like a 9. I had my gripes, like like I said, some of the navigations, like I feel like some of the level designs a little too samey, and then the platforming, but it's gripes. I was like, okay, I'm sitting at a 9 right now, like mentally. And then I got to the end of Act 1 and it went up to a 9.5. And people in the chat was like, yo, be careful, because like Watt said, Ghost of Yote is coming out. And I'm playing it right now, and I'm like, I haven't beat it, so I don't want to give it definitive. Maybe next podcast I'll talk about it. I don't want, but I was like, even now where I'm at, I don't know if Ghost of Yote is gonna beat this, man.
So the game keeps getting better.
And y'all are saying it gets better, bro.
Yeah, because the thing I said, because remember when I was in the group chat, right? When I showed you that clip, I was like, I'm not even joking to you. When you fight that boss, that I feel like for a lot of people, that was the moment I said, this is game of the year. Nothing is gonna touch this, because once you get past, like, you fight him and then you just keep going at that point, it's like watching like up, and then like I agree with you. Like when I first started playing in Act 1, I kind of had the same. I was like, this is good. Like it was an 8 in my head when I started. I was like 8. Then I got to the end of Act 1 when they killed. I mean, y'all haven't beat this game. I don't know how. Spoiler alert, I guess, but we've already hinted at it. when Homeboy dies, I won't say the name. When Homeboy dies, I was like, oh shit, like this is not a side character. I was like, how the hell is this supposed to keep going? And then I kind of had the same view. It's like, wait, then who's supposed to keep going? Because he seemed like the glue. Well, I wouldn't even say the glue. He wasn't, because bro was about
He's
to.
the first person you're introduced to.
I was gonna say he was about to himself.
So you're like already
like
dang, like this, yeah. It was.
I'd argue. I'd actually argue like Lune was the like glue to everybody. Like she seemed the one person out of the whole group who's like, get your shit together. I don't care how. Get your shit together. Stop. None of this. I don't care if we losing limbs. You not gonna stop until we get to our goal.
We continue.
That's why I loved her. Yeah, we keep going for tomorrow, or whatever, right? But then I when I get to Act 2, I'm sitting there. You got to have that confusion because you're introduced to someone new and you're just like, what the hell is happening? But the thing is like you're invested at that point because now the game has not only you already had like all these base questions like, why are people getting clapped? Thanos clapped. Why is the Paintress doing this? What world are they in? Is this, like all these different aspects? How long has this been going on? And it like feeds this to you with the expedition journals and everything like that. So you start. This is what I love is that they show it, right? And what I love, as a developer, I love this is that they didn't. I was talking to Dell on Twitter about this. Shout out to Dell. He was talking about how smart they were about optimizing how much work they would have to do. Like for all the expedition people, if this had been Ubisoft and AAA, they'd be like, we need to character model all the different outfits and all the dead people need to be, individual. But they just said, oh, let's just make everybody part of this expedition wear same suits, similar suits. So it's easier for us to do character modeling. And then when they die, we can use the same model for like all the dead expeditioners that we can just litter around the map. And I was like, oh, this is genius. They save so much time. That's what you're talking about, where it's like, they put their time and effort into what really matters. And I think kind of what you said too, where people who try to criticize this game because they play the first 5 minutes and they're like, oh, this character model is the same as this character model and this one, it's like they understood they understood their mission. They said, we know these are the areas we need to put all of our effort into, and these areas we don't need to put as much. But because when you get to the parts that really are like you just look at it like, you're telling me not 100, 200, studio made this. Like it's not a From or CD Projekt made this. Like only a group of 33 people were able to build this type of cinematic or this type of level of like detail. It's phenomenal. It truly is. So I will say I agree with you, TBH. If you got there by Act 1, I don't even know, because even when I finished Act 1, I was like, okay, I'm invested. I went from an 8 to a 9, and then by the time I got like midway through Act 2, I was like, this is a masterpiece. This is a 10 out of 10. And then when I got to Act 3, I was like, goddamn masterpiece. I was like, gee, watch those two, because I got to a point, I was like, oh my God. There's a moment in Act 3 where I was like, bruh, they are not about to do this. And then they do it, and you're just like, and they nail it. That's the best part. They stick the landing perfect. You're just oh my God.
It's because when you absorb a lot of art, whether we're talking books, music, movies, TV, after like a certain point, if you have a decent ability to recognize patterns, I feel like the unfortunate thing is if you're somebody who's like an art snob, you start to recognize certain patterns and it kind of ruin things for you because you can usually recognize where a story's going. You'll be sitting there watching it with friends and like family. You could just kind of tell where the story beats are going.
I know the twist.
You know the twist. And that's, I feel like for me, that's the difference between strong writing and bad, when you really can't get. I did not know what was going to happen at the end of Act 1. And then I think what happened at the end of Act 1 that had me on my jaw on the floor, it wasn't just the death, it was the implications. It had me asking questions.
Yeah.
Because when the old head shows up and then the other dude shows up and they looking at each other, I said, wait a minute, they kind of look alike. And it made me, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, is it doing what I don't want to spoil anything, but I was like, God damn. I'm like, okay, like Ito said, now I'm super invested. I'm sitting up.
You know what's funny?
I could be wrong, but I was like, it's still interesting.
You know what's funny is the prediction that you said. I watched back your VOD because I wasn't able to watch it. So I was like, I'm just curious to see what your reaction is to the death scene. So I scanned through and I watched it. The thing that had me cracking up, and I'm curious if JG and Watch, you had the same reaction, is I thought the exact same thing you thought, TBH, when I saw the scene. I thought that what I was seeing was like that was literally my prediction. Like right when that started happening, I was like, wait, is this like, is this time travel? Are we doing time travel? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I thought that at first.
I thought it was the exact, and I laughed and I was like, oh my God, he's thinking he thought you had the exact same thought process I did. And I'm not gonna say because I don't want to spoil your expectations, but like I love how like we never talked, we never interacted with it, but you came with a similar prediction that like I was also thinking of in my head, which I thought was really cool. And I wonder how many other people just in general were thinking the exact same thing. And I love how like it's like what you said. It reminds me a lot of okay, this is, I hope people understand what I'm saying when I say this. It reminds me a lot of Attack on Titan. And what I mean by that is Attack on Titan does a very similar thing where like you have a setup of you have a mysterious world, and the world is very mysterious because the way that the world works is not natural. And then on top of that, it has so many questions, and that's what keeps you going. But then when it reveals more information or shows you something different, it just causes you to like be like, wait, so everything I thought isn't what I thought it was, and now it's something potentially different. And that's why I feel like why Act 1 is so good. And I feel like any person, Act 1 should 100% like captivate you to keep playing the game. Like you're not gonna drop it. It does a perfect job of like similar to AOT, where it's like they kill Eren at the beginning of the show. And that's what captivates the audience off rip. Like, oh, you just killed the MC off the beginning, like 6 episodes into the first season. And it's similar to that with Expedition with, first, like 30 minutes of the game, you just watch people getting Thanos snapped. And
Dude,
it's sad, and you're just like, what?
Honestly, from there, I was like, because the way they use music and like the animation of the hands, like the way people move, it's all so specific to get you to really feel like a very real emotion.
But then it doesn't even like give you a moment of hope, because like the moment they give you like it's this weird thing of hope and despair, where it's like hope, despair, because it's like hope, Painterest happens, despair. And then hope, everyone's drinking, they get on the boats, they go over there. And then, here's this old dude, and then boom, despair. And then dude's talking about like he's ready to just like, we're talking 2 hours in the game and main character's thinking about killing himself. Like, that's wild. Like this is the shit I remember as a kid when I used to play like JRPGs, and like I played Final Fantasy VI, and it reminds me so much of Final Fantasy VI too. Like that aspect of despair where like the villain wins or something like that. Like in those aspects, like it's so cool to see that kind of like brought back, where I feel like, you know how people like criticize Spider-Man 2's dialogue and was like, this feels like too like sanitized or whatever it was, or they were like, the dialogue felt too like
lighthearted,
standard. Yeah. Or like too guarded. Like I like how like 2 hours in the game, we just had, basically genocide, death, a bunch of death, despair, potential hope, and then potentially suicide. Like all these themes are in 2 hours of the out of a 40-hour game. They didn't require us to get 40 hours into a cycle. It's like this is just showing you off rip to let you know like this is a very mature game. It's not like some kid thing, and I think that's like kind of the difference. Not to say that Persona doesn't, because the Persona does. It does have some darker themes, but I appreciate that there's a game that's like kind of what you said, TBH. I don't feel like it ever babied me, not once. Like whether it was like not even the navigation, not even the gameplay, not once did I ever feel like the developers were like trying to, grab my hand and say you got to play the game this way, or I'm gonna do exposition with you for like 30 minutes to explain this world to you. It's like, nah, bro, you figure it out. I'm not gonna explain it to you. You find lore, or you pay attention to these cutscenes. If you don't pay attention to these cutscenes, you're gonna be lost, and I don't care. So I do appreciate that level of being that brazen.
It also helps that all the characters are like super likable. Like I like all the characters so far. Like I'm engaged with all of them. It's so well written.
None of them seem like, oh man, I could not care about them. I'll let them go, but I don't care about everybody.
I'll say his name, but I don't think you know. Have you met SK yet?
Nah.
He has.
I have. Oh, you're talking about the big dude that you're right. Yeah. I forgot his name. Yeah, the big dude you're right. Yeah.
Shout out to the Wii and shout out to
the everybody was in their bag, definitely, when it comes to the voice acting. I think another reason this game really resonates for me from a gameplay standpoint, because I feel like we haven't talked about the gameplay enough. I feel like what makes it stand out. Earlier, Watch said that this is a turn-based game that anybody can like. It's not for turn-based fans, and I agree. But to articulate and kind of go into that more, It reminds me of one of my favorite JRPGs of all time, and I always talk about it on this podcast, which is The Legend of Dragoon. For me, what made that game great was it was an interactive turn-based. So you had the strategy, but where you take your turns, but then also when you would attack people, if you timed your button correctly, you would get like bonus damage with it, right? And I always thought that idea was super cool, and it just surprised me nobody ever just innovated on that idea, at least from what I can remember. And this game took that and turned it up to 11. So like, this is the first turn-based RPG where I think you might see someone fuck around and do like a no-hit run, because in this game, it's not just about taking your turn and being strategic and using your moves with your teammates, but also there's a dodge button and there's a parry button and there's a jump button. And on top of that, when you jump, you can do a counter attack, which gives you extra damage. And the game rewards you because if you parry enough, you'll also get a counter attack, and then you do this real cool kind of team attack. But it never gets old parrying in this game. It's super satisfying. So it's funny because I'm just now in Act 2 and I just started learning how to use the Picto system and equipping all the perks and stuff like that. So like the people in my chat were like shocked because they were like, what the fuck? You haven't been putting any upgrades on your characters besides the basic? I was like, I didn't know. Y'all know I ain't reading them damn menus.
You should have.
No, I am now.
Right there.
The point I'm trying to make is it's a skill issue. This game rewards you if you have skill, because I be parrying most of the shit. It doesn't fucking matter, bruh. But now that I do got them bonuses, I'm going even more stupid, bruh. It's satisfying.
We give it a GI. We give it a GI GN scoring of it's Sekiro, the Sekiro of RPG.
Something like that.
Well, the CEO was a Sekiro speedrunner, so.
Are you serious? It makes perfect sense.
Funny. That's hilarious.
It makes sense.
It's like if you look at their bios, so many of them love Final Fantasy VIII. I'm like, yep. And then he's a Sekiro speedrunner. I'm like, yep.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, that influence is uncanny. I was like, I feel like whoever worked on this is a big fan of Sekiro. You can usually tell those type of games. Like, I feel like the person really likes Sekiro. It was like, yeah.
It literally plays like Legend of Dragoon on crack, but then it has kind of the artsy menu style of Persona, its own music style, and then like the modern kind of. Does it run on Unreal 5? It looks like it.
Yeah.
This might be the first Unreal 5 game that actually is optimized and didn't blow up my PC too. So the next thing I want to say, and where I'm personally going, because it's the last thing I have to say about this game, is I'm pushing a new agenda. I'm only at the end of Act 1. So I don't want to sit up here and be like, oh, this is definitely my game of the year, because it's not fair. I like to beat my games before I say some shit like that. I don't want to eat my words. I might not like the ending like y'all do. But what I am comfortable.
Impossible. I'll put a parlay on that right now.
I feel like I'm gonna love this game.
I think you're gonna be a contrarian that for some reason you don't like it.
If you don't like that, bro, I'll put $100
If you don't like
right
it,
now.
you're lying.
Impossible. You don't. Yeah, I will fight. I will come to LA and fight. There is no way you will beat this game. Like, I did not like the ending. I refuse to believe.
You're gonna be like, oh, it was all
you're
right.
a Citadel boy. You know what you like.
I'm just trying to be fair. I haven't beat the game, so I don't know.
Let him get there. Let him get there.
Don't even think for yourself.
Let me finish.
You can tell already.
So, but I am comfortable pushing this agenda at this moment in time. And my agenda is, even though I haven't beat the game, I want this game to win Game of the Year. And the reason being is because this game was designed by 33 people. I repeat, 33 people. You got games like Grand Theft Auto, 2K, all this other bullshit. Thousands of people on the team. These games are coming out broken. Shit like Marathon, where there's hundreds of people on the team. Ain't nobody talking about that game after the alpha. These games are releasing unfinished, boring, uninspired, microtransactions out the ass. This is a game made by 30 people. I want it to win Game of the Year to send a message to the industry about things we've been preaching on this fucking podcast. People try to defend, I don't know where this corporate cocksucking has come from. People keep defending these companies, saying these games, Nintendo needed to make Mario Kart $80 because game development is so expensive. No, you've allowed these companies to gaslight y'all into believing these games need to be expensive. Now, if the development team is big and it required a lot of time to create this amazing, expansive game, then I understand, right? But every game is not that. Most of these companies are just copying the price tag of another game because they're doing that, bro. This game is $50 made by 30 people, and it's shitting on everything else besides maybe, what's the name? Split Fiction. So to me, I want it to win Game of the Year so the industry can understand, yo, it's cool. Let's do smaller dev teams, more experimental games that are cheaper for the consumer. Everybody, people will not be losing their jobs as much because if the game does fail, it didn't cost as much. You know, when you produce a game that costs $500 million to make, you gotta make $600 million to make a fucking profit. Like it's just, I don't think it's a sustainable business long term for the industry, and I think this is the way moving forward how we sustain ourselves. So I want it to win Game of the Year.
I'm back at that agenda. I'm back at that agenda.
Smaller teams with worse graphics and actual creativity.
Dude, that's why, like, I'm sure we'll talk about it in more detail later, but we're starting to see more and more games now have like a very specific stylized look. Whereas before it was like, let's be super realistic, super high def graphics. I want to go up to a tree and be able to see every little piece of wood grain. Whereas now it's like you're starting to see more and more games have more of an artistic art style and not go for that hyper realism. And I'm so glad that that is happening because it's way more sustainable. And your game is going to look good in 20 years, whereas the games that are trying to be hyper realistic are not.
I can say right now on the indie side of stuff, a lot of developers like I've been talking to, they're all saying the same thing. A lot of them are starting to bring back retro graphics. So a lot of them are making like N64 inspired, PlayStation 1 inspired, PlayStation 2 graphics, like actually like intentionally designing the game to be more of a old school nostalgia graphical style. Because one, it's because of modern technology, it's astronomically easier to replicate that art style now. And it doesn't, and the dev time is way easier for you to produce stuff for that, and it still looks appealing. Like this is why you still talk about Jet Set Radio. This is why you still talk about, you know, Jack and Dexter. It's like you could. It's not just about pushing as many pixels as possible. It's about having a really good art style. And side note, just because I was looking into this and I just Googled it just to make sure. There was an interview with Expedition 33 with I think it was like Dan. And they said that people have been trying to guess the budget for this game. Now I know for a fact they probably have so much money. I'm talking they are probably swimming in so much money that I'm talking EA, all the rest of them are probably licking their chops right now. According to him, he said that he's not giving us a number yet. And I'm guessing they're going to wait for a year or two. There'll probably be a post-mortem GD where he'll just give their number. But allegedly, he has said, without giving you a specific number, he said that this game has cost significantly, it was a significantly smaller budget than Mirror's Edge. Not Mirror's Edge, the remake. We're talking Mirror's Edge back in 2000.
The original.
I thought it was 8, 9, 10. We're talking with inflation. Like that budget of a AAA game from back then.
Isn't Unreal Engine 5 free up until a certain amount of sales? So I mean,
but it's not even that. It's not even that. Just the engine. We're not even talking about engine. We're just talking about like budgeting to like pay developers to.
That's what I'm saying. So most of their expenses go towards paying the developer. They don't have to worry about all the other stuff.
But a lot of it is that, like, for example, Bungie doesn't. I mean, they might switch now, but like Bungie for the longest had their own engine, right? They never had to pay anybody because they had in-house engineers that were good enough to develop their own engines. Microsoft used to have that with, that an EA used to use Frostbite engine to avoid paying, but it seems like more people are like, we got to go to Unreal. CD Projekt's going to Unreal right now because, I mean, as we'll probably discuss, it's way easier for them what their custom engines are. But yeah, I just find that insane because like I wonder what the budget was, but I'm like Googling right now. That would have been. These were games released in. Oh yeah, he said it was less than Vanquish, which was in 2010, and Mirror's Edge, which was 2008. So, if you're comparing that, Concord reportedly spent as much as $400 million. Black Ops 6 cost as much as a Hollywood blockbuster. Ubisoft apparently spent between 650 to 850 million. So, if we're guessing that number, it's probably like less than like. This is my guess. This is just from my experience. I'm guessing they probably spent 20 million on this game. That's my guess.
That sounds about right. Sounds like a decent ballpark.
10 to 20. That's my guess.
Yeah.
That's my like window. If I was gonna put a parlay on it, I'd say they're in between that area. And if you do that,
Mirror's Edge is 18 to 20.
Yeah, like 10 to 20. That would make sense, and that's actually doable. I think from what I can see with the game, and maybe like estimate in my head how much that would take. because they upgraded the graphics. They got professional voice actors like later part of the development of the project.
Yeah, because we saw that earlier footage.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that was so different.
That was so cool.
That early game footage. Yeah, it was cool though.
That was their prototype being like, guys, give us money. It's pretty
give
cool.
us money. Our personal experience, I was
more.
like, this is totally real. It's like 100%.
I'll say one more thing before we end this. America better watch out, man. We cook, man. We got the French making games like this. We have South Korea. We have China coming through making good games. Like we really got to step it up because the other countries are kicking our butts right now and making peak cinema games.
Am I right?
Yeah, make American games great again. Oh, no, but shout out to the other countries, man, like coming through and really making some quality products.
I want to add one more thing to my agenda that kind of adds on to what you were just saying too, JG. I feel like in the last plus 5 years, maybe the narrative's been pushed to where like you see a lot of people on social media really going at these game developers to the point where like people are pulling up, doxing people and like just threatening them and stuff like that. And I've always pushed back on that. And I always say that like I'm not saying there aren't some, because like I've even seen people say they're lazy. I'm not saying there aren't some lazy game developers, but I always push the narrative that these people are artists, but unfortunately it costs money to develop their art, a lot of money. And these publishers, for those not following, is basically a record label. These game studios are the rapper, the singer, the band, and the publisher is the record label, and you have to find this happy medium where the record label is footing the bill for the album they are producing. And I feel like people haven't learned enough names like the CEO of EA or like Activision or whatever, instead of just blaming this game proves what I'm talking about. These devs are not necessarily lazy, because I can't stress enough for those unaware. I feel like we all forgot this part. This was made by a 30-man studio most of them are former Ubisoft developers. Some of the most slop we've seen in the industry with these bullshit open world games. So it makes you wonder, okay, if Ubisoft devs are capable, by the way, this is their first fucking game, creating what Ethos is saying might be one of his top 10 games of all time. Imagine what would happen if they loosened up the noose just a little bit off these artists and let them cook and let them get the fuck out the kitchen, bruh. I'm telling you, learn these CEOs' names. They are the reason these games are full of microtransactions, bloated open worlds, because I think these people are a little bit more talented than we're given credit for. And that further why I said, even though I haven't finished the game, I want to see this game win Game of the Year, because I think it'll be a positive influence.
100%.
It's not AI. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to the Nightreign conversation before we? Not Nightreign, but I was about to.
Nightreign. He ready to get on the already.
Expedition
I
before
agree
we
with
do
you.
Nightreign.
I've been saying the same thing. It's like the people who get into game development are normally getting into it because they really love games, because you can do similar jobs at other tech companies and make like double the amount of money. So if there's a game dev working on making games, they're doing it because it's something they're passionate about and it's something they really want to do. So most of the people at these companies that are just the game dev, the sound engineer, whoever, they're just really talented, creative people. And it's usually always a little call from upstairs. It's like, no, well, if you do that, that's going to mean that we sell less. We actually saw this recently because all the marathon stuff happened with Bungie. And they were saying that you couldn't make some of the armor that you can get in game from Destiny look too good, because then people wouldn't want to buy the armor in the game. And that's not coming from a dev that's just working on the game. It doesn't come from them. So I'm really happy that these devs were able to separate and say, we want to make something. And they found their writer from Reddit, and they found their audio composer from a indie forum.
And their writer originally was a voice actor that they were going to
It's crazy.
That's
their whole
insane,
story
man.
is nuts. She was like a financial advisor before she started
financial advisor analyst was like, I'll write one of the best stories I've ever done for a video. Sure, why not?
Keep this
Just off the cuff, bro.
this conversation we just had about these CEOs being out of pocket, because later in the stay to the end of the podcast. Later in the podcast, I have an article about EA and what some of the CEOs are saying about people who play RPGs. If you hear about the way they talk about gamers, it's crazy. But we're gonna get get there. Stay to the end. But yeah, let's move on to Elden Ring Nightreign, another big release for 2025. All of us are looking forward to it because all of us are big Elden Ring fans. For those unfamiliar, Nightreign is not DLC, but instead it's a spin-off game. Instead, it's a roguelike where there are 3 days per session. And each day you basically run around, you loot, you kill mobs of enemies, fight bosses on the map, and you loot and you just try to power up. You get different little power. Every time you beat a boss, you get like a special power up. And then at the end of that day, you fight a boss. Next day comes, you do the same thing. At the end of that day, you fight a second boss, which is harder. And then at the end of the third day, you fight the final boss, which is the hardest of them all. And there's like, I think there's like 7 or 8 bosses, main bosses at the end. I think at launch, something like that. I think the rounds last like 30 to 40 minutes, depending on like on your skill level. It's much more fast paced because you can like mount. There's 8 different classes it launched with, and there's going to be classes they're adding as well as DLC. In the DLC, I've seen a lot of people say they love it. I've seen some people feel like they were disappointed by it. So I'm curious to see where everybody's kind of standing at, because this is one I know we all definitely have played. Jay, you got the floor. How you feeling about Nightreign?
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. There are a couple of slight gripes, and they're really nitpicky. It probably is my skill level, but definitely from the beta to this, we definitely have upped the difficulty on the Night Lords. That's for sure. We definitely were getting bodied a lot until like we started getting the relics to help in these situations. What I feel is a little bit frustrating at times is the maps, and you really have to be strategic. Like I feel like you have to have like perfect runs in order to really like get get your weapons upgraded, get the best weapons, get the best materials in order to like be fully equipped. I still have not gotten to level 15 before I got to the last Night Lord. Like I think the highest I got was like 12, but like I've seen people like, it was like if you have a decent run, you'll get 13. But like I've never gotten to 15. So like it is extremely difficult. Like sometimes you'll get caught in some camps. Sometimes you get caught fighting some bosses that you're a little under level to be facing at the time, and it does take a little bit of time away. So like that's one of my gripes. Like I do feel like I would like to explore some of the map a little more, but a lot of times like you can't. You just get there, and the objective is just to level up as much as you can, and try to get some of the like special weapons that will be weak to that final Night Lord at the end. So that's one of my gripes. The other gripe, which is a slight nitpick, is the duo system, which they are patching in. So I know that was one thing that people were like, oh my god, like why can't you duo? Well, you'll be able to duo now, once the patch drops. So that's at least good that they've listened to the community and realized that people do want to duo. Not everybody wants to do trios or solos, which is a nightmare in itself. I definitely tried solos and I do not enjoy it. It's not fun to do a solo. So like you definitely need to have a squad, but at the end of the day, it's Elden Ring. Like there are a couple of bosses. Obviously, the Night Lords are all unique, but there are a couple of bosses. I was like, oh, like I haven't seen you in a while. Like but the majority of them play Elden Ring in the DLC. Like you'll recognize a lot of the bosses, and they're all randomized. Like everything is RNG. So like if you're into roguelikes, then you'll be right at home. Me, I really don't play roguelikes, so it's slightly different for me to get used to all the RNG and all of those elements. But once you get the hang of the game, and once you have like that good squad that fully understands how to use all of their weapons correctly, all of their arts correctly, and you can like run through and like have those perfect runs, then it'll be a good time. But that's pretty much it for me. I think that's like the gist of it. It's a fun game though, and again, if you play Elden Ring, then I think you'll be right at home with this. But just understand that it's not that traditional Elden Ring. It does have a lot of RNG elements, so like you'll be playing with a lot of weapons that you probably aren't used to. So you just have to learn how to be more versatile while you're going through your runs.
Yeah, I think where I'm at right now, I've beaten 4 bosses so far. I'm good with an 8 out of 10. There's a few reasons why. It is Elden Ring, but it's cracked out. It's super fast paced. I do enjoy the whole co-op aspect of it, but I don't like the fact, like you said, you're forced to either be solo or 3-man. They should have had the duo, but to add another nitpick in there, I feel like there's some input latency because it's always online. There's a lot of times where I be hitting my special arts, my special moves, and it just does not come out, and it's really fucking frustrating to me. It's nowhere near as bad as the Coliseum and base Elden Ring, but it's definitely there. That's a nitpick for me. And then I think as well, I wish that it would have launched with more characters. I feel like there's only like 2 or 3 characters I like. And then with the rogue, kind of like with you, the roguelike thing, it's cool, but like I've been playing the archer mainly, and I feel like half the shit I get, it's useless. I get that's supposed to be the point, but I'm like, damn, can we get at least like 60, 70%? Like, it's a lot of stuff I get to the end of the game and I just don't feel powerful enough. And like the beta was easier. They made the bosses way more tankier. So if you don't get the right drops, there's drops where I'll get like legendary weapons, and then the other time I'll get absolutely nothing. And I'm like, it feels like a kind of a waste of time because I feel ill-equipped. And then my main complaint about it is you don't have to, but it does feel like you have to play a certain way. Like each boss has a specific weakness, and it'll tell you like some bosses are weak to poison, fire, holy, whatever, right? And you could beat the boss without it, but oh my God, it is a fucking bitch. So I feel like the game forces me to run to certain sides of the map to get that special fire weapon, and then there's no guarantee you get it. So then you might get clapped by the fucking boss versus, I think, traditional Elden Ring, it kind of takes away the essence of it, right? What I really loved about the base Elden Ring is all 4 of us had completely different builds. It didn't fucking matter. If you mastered your fighting style, you could beat the game. You can do it in this, but you will be banging your head against the wall to a different type of degree where it kind of sucks some of the fun out of me. For me, especially because it's co-op and it's like, I just want to play with my friends and have fun. Like, I liked Elden Ring was more skill-based, and it felt like this is more like you got to play the meta. Like, there are people online saying the archer is the meta. I don't like that for like Elden Ring, but it's still fun to be had here. I felt like this would be a good game for maybe Souls fans, like non-Souls fans, to jump into. Now I don't think that. It's much more difficult than I thought. You got to be a Souls veteran to play this shit. And you got to master the map like JG said. You played the most out of all of us though. Watts, what do you think?
Okay. I'm addicted to Nightreign. I understand it's not a perfect game. And I think, like you said, TBH, some people are like, should it be my first Souls game? I'm like, first of all, no, because it's not a Souls game. Like, if you're looking for a Souls experience, you should just go play Elden Ring. That is literally going to be like the best entry-level Souls game because of the freedom. Anyway, it's like, I recommend this game if you like really good action. If you like the Elden Ring like sandbox and you enjoy roguelikes, then I think you'll probably dig this game. But it just plays so differently. It's the only way that I can kind of describe it to people is it's like FromSoft made a party game, and that is Nightreign. It's like it's very difficult, but it's like getting together with your buds and kind of messing around and having some fun doing stuff and screaming that you're stuck in a mine and the circles coming in. But I'm addicted to it because I keep thinking about the different builds I want to make. And I think initially when you get into Nightreign, you don't see the potential of the builds and you're like, oh, it's kind of shallow. I wish there was a little bit more. But for people who are unaware, there's a system called the relic system where your character can select 3 relics, and that is permanent stuff. So that's like the roguelite elements of it, because that's your permanent meta progression that you can unlock. And you can take those into every single round that you go into, and you can unlock them at the end of an expedition. You can gamble at the little jar guy to get more of them, and that's where you're going to be making builds. And there's some really crazy stuff that's in there. There's ones that you start unlocking where the characters have specific ones for that character. So I've been playing Revenant, which is a little doll girl who summons her dead family members. Don't worry about it. And
is that what she's doing? I didn't know that part.
Yeah. Yeah, it's her. Yeah, because one of her perks on her relic says that she gets power when fighting alongside family. It's her family members, so spirits. Anyway,
so that's a little lore tip in there. Okay.
You can build her to be like very supportive and have her like heal teammates when she ults, and all of her flasks will heal teammates, and you can build her in that way and like have her be more focused on that. But then there's also other ones that you can get specifically for her that make her ult do damage, that make her and her allies and her spirits do more damage when you ult. So there's like a bunch of different ways that you can play the characters. You can take in like a weapon that has a bunch of different elements on it. So there's just a lot of really fun ways to build your character, and I find that to be really, really fun. It's definitely got that thing of I want to do one more. I want to do one more run. I want to do one more run and see what relic I get, or see if I can do better, or see if I can like really nail down that boss. But to your point as well, TBH, about the like you can play the way you want, but not really. Just to give everyone an example, because people have found out the boss resistances, what they're weak to and what they're like strong to. If we take the first Night Lord, which is Tricephalos, he is minus 50% with fire. So he has like let's say he has a 50% resistance to fire, but he is like 40% weak to holy.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge swing, right? So if you're going in there with a fire weapon compared to a holy weapon, the difference in your damage is gonna be crazy. And I think the hardest things with these bosses is the longer that they're alive, it gets more scary, right? Because when your team goes down, it takes longer to res them. So the longer that you're in combat with these bosses, the more likely you are to fail. Libra, for example, starts going nuts if you fail some of his mechanics, and that gets crazy. So definitely playing to the weakness of the bosses is going to make you much more successful.
So if you don't follow the rules, you won't be.
Sometimes
I seen the achievements. They exposing a lot of people. Most people have still not made it past that third boss.
Oh, really?
It's like 40%, I think. Like, so
it's kind of crazy,
people in the chat giving I'm like, y'all are fucking frauds, bro. I be pulling up on random streams. They still on that damn dog, the first one. So
that's a skill check for real. That dog is kicking there.
It makes me wonder if people are learning the actual mechanics and the weaknesses, because a lot of people are stuck, basically.
People don't look at the weaknesses, and I think another thing as well is people are treating it like a Souls game. And yes, you can learn the boss, and like being good at the boss is going to help you a lot. But the biggest kind of skillful thing that you can learn is learning the map. Learning when you can take on certain bosses depending on your level, learning how quickly you can take things down. So like, do you have time before things start being eaten up by the night rain? Learning where to go at certain times. Knowing, okay, it's day 2, we got to go right here to do this. Knowing what gives you the most XP. Like, all of that is such a huge learning curve. Especially if you don't have someone who's like, yeah, I'll take you to all the places and you can just like learn from them. But if you're just learning organically and you're doing like match-made co-op, it's going to take you a while to get the bosses down, because you're going to have to get that knowledge.
For the longevity of the game. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of that, no voice chat, man.
That's what
it's like little things. It's like little things. I'm like, come on, FromSoft. At least they had it where you didn't have to enter in a password. Like, that was a what thing. Because in the beta,
I can invite you to my lobby.
Yeah, we can invite each other directly. Like, welcome to 2025, FromSoft. Like, thank you. But yeah, no voice chat was. Sucks.
That's why I don't have as many hours as I thought I would. Because literally the only time I play is if anybody is free in the group chat. I tried to play solo, never again. Because there's no voice chat, it's impossible to play at randoms, and a lot of them are horrible. So it kind of does force you to play like a certain type of way. Ethos, how you feeling about the game?
Yeah, I'm with Watts. I might have beat the game already. Nothing crazy.
Oh, here we go.
But you say carried. She put your back her. Watts.
I might have carried TBH to help them beat 2 bosses. Show them what Watts taught me. Show them how to get around the map. I do agree with Watts saying it's less about mechanically beating the bosses. You do have to learn them, but I don't think the bosses are mechanically as complex as I think some of the base Elden Ring guys are. Except for the final guy, because that bro just cuts through the reality and has 2 different forms, and he's doing strings and stuff. So like, yeah, he's a little bit more. And the trickster guy, he's also a pain in the ass. I hate him too.
He's got mechanics.
Yeah, he's got mechanics. But I will say, it's definitely more of a game of, you have to understand. This is why I do agree. I don't think it's necessarily a Souls game in the way that you don't. It doesn't allow you to breathe, and it doesn't give you time about like what you're build crafting necessarily. It's more of, you have to go into the match knowing what you're, and then you're having to dynamically make decisions in a way smaller frame than Elden Ring. You remember, you could sit back, look look at your build, look at your weapon. Oh, this one's better. This one does this. Oh, I'll switch. You don't have that when you have this stupid circle trying to kill you every 5. So you have to run for your life every 15 minutes. You barely get time to like doing the talismans. so many things are so crucial, and it's definitely that pattern of realizing where you need to go at what time and not making the mistake. Because sometimes, like when you and me and TBH, when we were playing like with Brooke, making that mistake of like going somewhere too early and thinking, oh, we can do this, and we waste so much time in one area trying to beat something, and we realized we wasted so much time that we could have been running to another area, beat 2 smaller camps, got more information, found some talents, and then I think crucially is like getting to that castle and beating that underground boss so you can reach up and get the potentially the higher grade weapons. Because if you end up going against the final boss and you don't have purple, you don't have a gold weapon, you're cooked. Like the chances you can beat it, it's just gonna be a pain. But if you have a team that's like, oh yeah, we got gold, I got a Rivers of Blood, like I think that one time Watts, you had the I think you had the gold angel.
Oh yeah.
You were spinning that with a Revenant, and then I drew River of Blood, and we were just spamming it over and over again. And then
so easy.
Dimitri was arrowing constantly. Like it made it naturally so much easier than when I had to play with other times where I was like, oh God, I wish we had. And also, shout outs to Revenant. Revenant has not only hilariously become the mascot of this game, because people are making all those memes of this like swole little girl
gremlin,
with, like, gremlin with massive weapons, even though they're not scaled to her at all. Like I'll go beat them. And then I think that her playstyle, which I'm shocked no one has yelled, oh, this is Mickey if you play Revenant, but I do like how like if you need help with it, Revenant is very good at like giving you space. Like you can do a build where you can play like more glass cannon characters, because Revenant can give you that breathing room with their summon while you guys try to like ADS, but it has a skill gap.
We actually did that with because we had Duchess and Iron Eye, and then I was Revenant, and I was like, okay, we don't have a tank, so I bought in a build where
Sebastian was our tank. But no, but
I made a build where my flasks heal him. Yeah. So like when he's tanking and the boss is doing like an 8-hit combo on him, I'm just like, oh God.
but that's what you're talking about, that build crafting, because like that's what we decided when we went in. It was like, all right, I'll play Duchess. Dimitri can play Iron Eye for like the DPS and stun effect, and then like what I was doing is I was stacking the I had this rune, which is what Watch on too. I have a rune on Duchess, which is why I try to play her when I play with you guys. That makes it where when I do a full dagger combo, it triggers my clock ability. And mind you, this doesn't actually trigger the effect itself. It triggers the effect, but I still have my activated effect of the clock, so I can double the clock. So I can do like double, triple damage. So when you get really good and you start finding more runes, you could probably find another one if you roll right. And now when you have that thing triggering 3 times in a row, then I'm comboing with like what you did, TB, when we did that last night, like the double arrows, and then I go clock, and then you're tripling, quadrupling damage. Now the bosses aren't as difficult as you think, but reversely though, if no one's thinking about team composition, that's where I think solo play is terrible. You don't have the chance to really figure out what your composition is going to be. People are going to pick what they pick. And because of that, it does come to that idea like, oh, well, you need to have. I do agree that there are some characters that are just like, I'm a Guardian hater. If I see a Guardian on my team, I'm like, oh, there's no way we're gonna just run. I'm just calling. But like, but most of the other ones, I think there is a definite skill gap outside of just finding stuff. Sure. It is like, if you play Recluse, my God, when I played Recluse with Watts, it was like I had to have I'm not joking. I had a spreadsheet opened up on the left where I could analyze what ability I was going to get, because the game doesn't tell you what they do. You have to figure them out or go online and actually Google, oh, if I combine this element with this element, it'll create boom explosion, or I'll do a lightning attack, or I'll heal.
It's very complicated.
Honestly, I think she's probably the hardest one out of all of them, because it's not an easy thing to pick up, and you got to the timing, the elemental. She's also very glass cannony, so if she gets hit, you're in trouble. So you gotta, and her dodge is like more of a float back, so you got to be like very careful where you're.
Her dodge has good iframes on it, though.
It does, but like you don't have as far of a like movement that you could get if you got like bosses that are running after you 5 times in a row. Yeah. But I agree. I do think it's like, if I was going to rate it, like after beating it, I'd say like for me, it's like an 8.5 out of 10. Like I think if you are, which I went into it thinking, I was a big fan of Elden Ring. I wanted to play co-op, but I didn't just want to play co-op Elden Ring like how the mod is, right? Like that already exists in Elden Ring. I like that they didn't just say, oh, we're just going to make Elden Ring mod version with the same type of thing. I like that they actually experimented with some different things, because FromSoft does this very good thing where every game or every single like side project they work on, even, which is funny, even Arm, they experiment with certain things and then they take lessons from those things and they apply it to the next big project, and they try new things. Like Sekiro was a I think they said Sekiro was built off of the ideas that they had with Bloodborne and evolving that battle system. And now, you know, Sekiro is, I'd honestly argue, just like how Titanfall was, I say Sekiro is like a godfather of a bunch of modern games.
Oh yeah.
Like
it
so
was the
many
first
games.
one that really was like, parrying is the mechanic.
Yeah, there was no, I thought about it. There was like no action game before that, or like Souls game before that, that was using parrying as like a key mechanic of timing it, where it was like a rhythm game. No, unless I'm thinking, I'm making like not know.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right, because the devs that I know who made Grime, they were making like a parry heavy indie game. And they were like, oof, this hasn't been done before. I don't know how this is going to go. And then Sekiro came out and they were like, oh, okay.
Oh,
we can do it
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even, you know, not to be vain or whatever, like even Samurai Zero, like when I added deflecting stuff, I literally, like, I spent so much time playing that game over again, but I was recording a lot of the footage and I was slowing down the footage and I was like, how is this thing working? Like, how are they timing this? And I adapted a lot of that into my game system of understanding how that can work. So, like, shout outs to FromSoft. I mean, not only have they, like, whole subgenre that people now make games for, but, like, even core mechanics, new mechanics and evolutions, like, other games are adapting and taking it into their game. So I think I wouldn't be shocked. I think that FromSoft basically thought when they built this, like, what if we took Elden Ring, but we combined it with BR closing, but it's only co-op. And on top of that, we're combining it with roguelike, which had never been done before. And again, these are things that, if you remember back when Elden Ring, before it came out, I said the same thing. Before Elden Ring came out, oh my God, the naysayers were insane about that game. No way this can work in an open world setting. The Souls formula is so built for dungeon traveling that there's no way an open world system can work with Dark Souls. It just won't. And then Miyazaki cooked, and then they were like, I guess we were wrong. I guess they could figure it out and make it work. And I feel like, just like this one, this is them experimenting with a couple things, and I'm curious to see how much, because it seems like it's going to be similar to that Nintendo Switch game they're working on.
Dust Blood.
It's similar, which is also a co-op with PvP.
Yeah.
PvP. So that seems to be, now they're going to be evolving the evasion mechanics. And I'm like, okay, so you have a Nintendo project that seems to be doing some ideas with PvP, and you got this game that's doing PvE. So this, whatever you're working on next, this big game Miyazaki's working on, what are you cooking? Like, is the next thing, like, are you gonna work on a Monster Hunter type game? Or are we working on like a open world like MMO style game? Like, I know you're up to something, Miyazaki. You're not.
Nightreign kind of does feel like Monster Hunter when you get to the final boss.
It's similar.
Feels like, it feels very. I've always said, like, I know Monster Hunter fans comparison, but it's like they're like kind of the cousin. They're not one, but they are. Yeah,
it's really good combat, right? It's really good combat where you're fighting like a big guy.
Yeah,
a big boss monster guy. Yeah.
That explains why Watts likes it so much, is he's addicted, because there were monsters there.
I don't know. I honestly didn't expect to like Nightreign as much as I do, because I don't want to play these games with other people. I don't want to play like Elden Ring with other people. I don't play co-op in any of these. Nope. Leave me alone. It's my relaxation.
Yeah. I will say,
but I really like it.
Yeah, I will say, small though. I do agree with you, TBH. I am a little disappointed that there's not more. Like, it would have been awesome if after you beat the final boss, there's like a more secret bosses. Like, for example, I know my biggest op. I know the Nameless King. He's in that game. I have not seen him. Yeah, I play with Watts. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll run into him with Watts. Never seen him. I play with you. Thought we'll run into him. I don't know if there's like a certain thing you need to trigger, but I have seen him. He's actually in the game.
Yeah,
I've seen footage of him. He pulls up in one of the, like, when you enclose to the circle. I think it's like day 2. There is a chance. I wonder if his chance is very low, but he does pop up, just how like Ancient Dragon does. But I will say, I wish he was like more of like a one that you could just find on the field, or he could pop up more, or they could have like limited time engagement based bosses where it's like, get on, like how Monster Hunter has like events, like get on the game now, because that boss you remember from Dark Souls 3 that kept whooping your ass is now like one of the bosses you can like hunt. Like, just stuff like that where like you expand the game, because we know y'all got millions of bosses, you have tons of assets that you've built, because Elden Ring's proven it. There's probably a bunch you could literally copy paste all the bosses from Bloodborne, and I guarantee you they would be salivating from the mouth to be able to fight them all over again. I would love to fight some of the ops from Dark Souls 3 all over. because they had some bosses, especially from the DLC. I'd love to see what's Homeboy's name, that annoying, really hard one. I forgot. He's considered one of the hardest bosses in Dark Souls, but I like to see some of them come back. So.
For the longevity of the game, I hope that they don't just add more bosses, but they add more maps. Like, cut off Khalid and turn that to a map. Cut off the snow area.
Well, you haven't seen, to be fair, from what I've played with you, you haven't seen the variations. Like, you haven't seen the volcano. Like, you've never gone to the volcano.
I've gone to the volcano plenty of times.
Oh, okay.
Just
I wasn't
not
sure
with
if you
you.
actually did the route. So you did the route in the volcano?
I'm pretty sure I've seen the majority of that map, yeah, already.
Okay. Did you get to the city one yet? Or have you ever seen that one?
That one, maybe not. I don't know. If you, I don't know
Yeah, that was one I think we ran that.
That was really cool. Yeah.
It's like a Dark Souls,
Place is
like an
huge.
Elden Ring book. Yeah, like I think more of those would be cool. And I do agree. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that, like, I think initially I was like, oh, I hope there's more maps, but now I'm more in the camp of I hope there's more random events, like the locust thing that happens, or Morgoth invading you, like those, or the Augor
Dynamic
spawning, and you have to go in a bubble, like the random things that you're like, oh god, we got to deal with this right now,
or
because I think
Sekiro
that really
bosses.
switches it up.
Or
yeah, where are the Sekiro bosses?
What's the Gundam game
or
they made?
more
Put some of them in the
like
game.
You said,
Armor Core.
Put some Armor Core bosses.
I fear a lot of things. I fear a lot of Dark Souls bosses, but I'm telling you, if I ever saw an Armor Core appear in the Dark Souls, I would cry. There's no way.
That would be
Like, fuck it, let's do it. Like,
do it. Why not? Do it.
You imagine Executioner trying to like parry like a missile. That'd be cool. I do hope JG, maybe one day we'll get Armor Core DLC. I would like to see this in I think that'd be cool, like a co-op Armor Core experience.
That'd be
like,
fire. Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. That'd actually fit, I think, Armor Core. So FromSoft, please make it. Watch, you play Armor Core? Did you play it?
I have, yeah.
Oh, okay. Just TBH.
Yeah, TBH is a hater of it. He doesn't want to play.
I didn't say I hated it. I just said it wasn't for me. I was like, yeah.
That's not his.
It didn't inspired me.
That's hating. That's
Is that
hating.
it?
Okay, whatever, bro.
You ain't met Rusty, bro.
I guess. Well, beat Liza P. Then talk to me, buddy. You talking about?
I am. I'm working on it. Hey, them excuses about to dissipate, bro.
Chat, this man's in the DM talking about I'm about to play the Overture DLC. You didn't even play the base game. Let me talk. And this man.
No, I was just letting y'all know. Hold on. I put it in there to let y'all know.
I'm 2 Souls games ahead of you. Because I too.
Let me. First of all, I'm about to expose TBH. Let me show you how he's a fraud. Okay. So first of all, he's trying to get up on stream and try to act all shocked and surprised when I literally was in the DMs 2 hours before the thing, being like, "Yo, Streets is saying the DLC gonna drop today. Adjust your streams accordingly." Watts knows, and Watts was like, "Okay, well, we'll see if it's true or not." And then it happened, and then he's gonna act on the stream. Oh my God! Wow, I can't believe this got announced.
Ethos. No, I didn't. You're not a reputable source.
Yes, I'll pull it up. I will share my screen. Where's the share the screen button? I will share my screen right now.
I did say you did say it in the group chat, but that doesn't confirm it for me.
He didn't believe you in the group chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't believe I'm a developer? Like, I wouldn't have a dev phone. I wouldn't know people.
The guy at GameStop told me. That doesn't mean anything.
You wouldn't know.
Like,
I got people at GameStop who DM. No joke. I actually have people who work at GameStop who do DM me leaks of stuff. Be like, hey, I'm just like.
Maybe I would have believed you if somebody, if you would have been like somebody from IGN.
I'm not saying who.
But,
I was gonna say I don't snitch on my sources. I ain't.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, though. You said GameStop, man. That's already too much.
I ain't snitch on who at GameStop.
Okay,
I got multiple sources. Sources.
During
actually,
the,
I see Yoshi working on himself.
During the Sony State of the Play, they announced Neo 3 is coming, which we'll get into that in a little bit, the Sony State of the Play. But I wanted to touch on this briefly. Did anybody get a chance to play the demo? Because they also announced a demo the same day, and that's a Souls. Like, we're on the topic.
Yes, I finished.
You said this is your favorite game, right?
Neo 2. Yeah, Neo 2 before Expedition 33 was my favorite game ever.
Wait,
now
why?
it's like,
what?
Explain this.
I know, right?
I didn't play
Neo
2. Explain this.
So the whole conversation of like, what is your favorite game ever? I think is really hard because I almost feel like we have sections of our life where it's like, this is my favorite game here. This is my favorite game here. Because if I won't really know unless I play all of these games back to back, like right now, which is my favorite game. I feel like when I get to top 5, I'm like, well, I think any of them could probably be 5 or 1. It could be either. But Neo 2 is my love. Yeah. I love Neo 2. Neo 2 is my
So
love.
how does 3, what's 3 doing for you, the demo?
3 is cool. They're doing so. As soon as I loaded it up, I was like, "This feels like I've just returned home." They have Nekomata in there. They've got Scampus. They've got all of the cute, awesome things that you expect with flashy, crazy combat. So they still have a lot of the same mechanics, but they've kind of broken it down into 2 characters. So normally with Neo, you could select between a bunch of different weapons, and then you can have 2 weapons that you switch between. But the way that they're doing it in Neo 3 is one character is like a samurai, so they have like the Odachi and the spear, and they have all like the big weapons. And then they have the ninja that has all of like the fast weapons. And the samurai also is the one that can parry. They have the key regeneration. So in Neo, when you attack, obviously it brings your stamina down. In Neo, you press R1 during that stamina coming back, and it can refill like all of it. So that mechanic is only on the samurai character. And they also have the stances. Yeah.
Are these 2, is it like, because I haven't played it yet, is it like Assassin's Creed where they're 2 separate characters, or is it the same character, just like a form you switch to?
It's more so like a form than anything, but they do have different armor and different weapons.
Oh.
So
it's the same, so you're playing the same
You get
character?
2 builds in one, basically.
It's 2 builds in one. Yeah, it's pretty much 2 builds in one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can switch. You just press R2 and it switches between
So it's
them.
like another, like how you can do stance switching. It's like another switching of
Where
stance.
there's
It's Team Ninja. There's another mechanic on another mechanic that they added to a mechanic on top of a mechanic.
Oh, yeah, that's just like mechanic exception. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the samurai has stances, but the ninja has all of the like ninjutsu stuff, all of the magic, all of that kind of stuff. And they're a lot faster. They're more like dodge based, and they can't parry. So depending on what you're fighting, if you're being sneaky, you probably want to just go and be around as the ninja because she does more damage when you like sneak up on people and stuff like that. If you're head to head, maybe you want to switch over to the samurai. So you are building out like 2 completely different sets of armor, because one wears like heavier armor, one wears lighter armor, and 2 different weapons, and you're building them kind of.
So this is like dynamic in combat. Like if I'm fighting one, I could like swap to the different form, like in real time.
Yeah, there's actually a mechanic where where they do the red attacks. You press R2, which is the button you use to switch between the characters, and that is the thing that like interrupts that move. So it's like really built into the whole combat.
It's only on PlayStation?
The demo is only on PlayStation, but I'm pretty sure it's doing a simultaneous launch for Steam as well. Yeah, because you can already wishlist it on Steam, whereas usually it's like a year kind of thing. But it says it's coming out in 2026. So yeah, I think it's going to be simultaneous.
You just kind of sold me on it. I'm gonna have to. I downloaded the demo, but I
play the demo. The demo. I've spent 10 hours in the demo.
Yeah,
It is
I
like-
was watching you play
It's
it.
a huge.
How do you do this?
like-
This is ridiculous.
Watch needs to be studied. Like,
You're ridiculous.
I wish I could. do Yeah.
Well, I was like, okay, it's coming out in 2020. First of all, they said they weren't going to make another Neo. So when I saw the very first part of the trailer with the spirit vein, and they're like, this spirit vein, I'm like, wait,
Like Neo.
this is Neo. What? I'm like, is this a remake? No, it's Neo 3. And then they're like, oh, it's a demo, but it's coming out next year. I'm like, okay, it's an alpha demo. It's probably not going to be anything crazy. They give you the intro of the game. They give you a whole area, because now instead of doing like mission-based structure, it's more so like open area structures. So normally there'll be like chapters, right? And there's like different missions in that chapter. I think instead of doing that, they're having like one chapter is one big open area, and then you go to another chapter and it's another big open area. They give you one big open area. And then when you finish that, you're like, okay, cool, I'm done with the demo. They're like, oh, we have a challenge section for you to do if you want, which is like another mission where there's a whole bunch of new enemies and new weapons and new armor and new bosses. So it's an extensive demo. Very, very extensive.
I played it.
But I really like it. It feels great. Combat is great. It's flashy and crazy like Neo normally is. You have living weapon again, where you can turn into a spirit and fight as them. And the builds will be crazy. Loot is how it's always been. I made a joke that Team Ninja was like, we've heard that you have too much loot to go through. So we made 2 builds you can make at once instead of 1. They really tripled down on like why people like Neo. They learned from like stuff from Wolong, stuff from Rise of Ronin, and put it all together into Neo. And I really love that they did that, and they didn't kind of stray away from what makes people like Neo, because a lot of people Neo, I think, is a little bit of a niche game. It's like a big niche, but it's still pretty niche, I think. And yeah, they didn't change anything. They just keep adding more on top of it.
I just remember like years ago how like people used to call it off, like they were like trying to like criticize it as, oh, it's just a rip off of Dark Souls or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just remember because I was like, I made a video about the. Not a fair thing to say about it, but I'm just so happy that like I'm just thinking about years ago when I first, and now seeing like now it's like a whole trilogy is kind of.
Yeah, it's its own thing now too. Like I will always say, yes, it's a Souls-like, but Neo is also its own kind of special thing.
The looting system, yeah.
It's got its own loot, rarity of loot. It's got a lot of like Ninja Gaiden DNA in there, of course.
So just to piss TBH and JG off, it's better. Is Neo 2 better than Wu?
Yeah.
Why would that make me mad? I'm not a Wulong fan.
No, I was just saying because that's your favorite game.
That's you love Wulong. We're gonna put you on trial. You've been lying all podcasts.
You love Wulong. That's you.
I think that's Siggy. What are you talking about?
That was you or I thought it was all three.
I don't.
That wasn't me.
I said that here when
Wulong
and Lies and Peace
it was
came
cool.
out. I said I was torn between those two, and then I definitively decided that I like Lies of P more.
Be better. Okay.
Yeah, Neo has a special.
Okay, Neo or Lies of P?
I put Lies of P over. Well, no, I haven't played Neo. I thought you were about to say Wulong. I can't. I haven't played Neo.
No, Neo 2.
That's hard. It's hard because I think Lies of P has better level design and their story and like their environments are really, really cool. But I think what you can end up doing build wise and combat wise is kind of nuts in Neo, and that feels really cool.
There you go.
Don't make it choose. Don't make it choose. I feel like I'm doing a disservice from not playing Neo because I remember I played the first Neo demo, and I know, and that was during my Souls hater days.
Yeah,
and I played it for like 5 minutes. I said, "Oh hell!" I said, "This is a Souls game." I got right off. I was like, "I'm not playing this shit."
Oh hell no!
Oh no!
Yeah, I said, "No, y'all tricked me." I said, "Y'all tricked me." I said, "No, this is a Souls game." I said, "No, I'm not doing this." And then I never played another one again. And then Sekiro came out, and then Ethos was like, this is a feudal Japan game. All right, JJ, you gonna play it? And I said, try it out. So did play a Souls game, but I never went back to Neo. And then Neo 2 came out when I was like, well, I never played Neo 1, so I'm not going back. And I don't know, I just never.
Same. And the stories, if anyone's wondering about that, like the stories aren't really connected because the way that Neo does it is they follow like real life people. No.
Yasuke's in Neo 2.
Yeah, but
Yasuke's in a bunch of Team Ninja games because he was a samurai, so he's in a bunch of their games. That's a samurai.
Whoa!
Take it up with Team Ninja. Okay.
Whoa! What?
They put people that don't exist in their games.
But that's what Neo is like. It follows like real people, and all of the inspiration for the yokai and for like the actual people that you're fighting are all based in like history of Japan. So I find myself I like googling people when I find a new boss. I'm like, who is this guy? Because then you see all of the inspiration behind the way they look and the weapons they use and all of that, and it's really cool.
I was in the same boat as JG. I never played the Neos just because that was during my Souls hating phase, so I just skipped those games. But they announced the demo, so I was like, I'll try it. I played it a couple hours the other day. And when I got past the tutorial boss, I was like, oh, because it has like that little active reload function that restores your stamina if you do it in sync with like your moves. I was like, oh, this is like Rise of Ronin. And the chat was like, it's the same dev team. I was like, oh. And then I got further, and then I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then so then I'm like, let's see where this goes. I get a little bit further in the demo, and what sold me on it, I was like, okay, 2026, I'm probably gonna play Neo 3. Was the duel mechanic where you get two basically protagonists and they have different fighting styles. It was really fun because once you in the demo, there's a little closed section. You beat the little first boss, and then it puts you in the open world. Once you get to the open world, I switched to the ninja, and I was just sneaking around doing stealth kills. But then when I fucked up, I would switch to the samurai, and I could do all the different stances and the different combat moves. And then the skill tree was like really deep. Mechanically, it kind of moves like a Souls game, but then it's much more faster. It's like much more cracked out. It's definitely its own thing with its combo system and stuff like that. So like now playing it myself, I was sold on it. It's not Elden Ring or Dark Souls. It's its
like
own thing.
Speed. I think it's like closer to that speed.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that.
Combat wise,
faster than Wulong. Yeah, because Wulong was kind of like clunky to me, like, but it's definitely faster than that. It's super cracked out. I liked it.
It's maybe even closer to something like Kazan than like Elden Ring, where there's combos. Agreed. And it's faster. They want you to do flashy stuff. Like if you play, I bet Ninja Gaiden 4 is gonna feel kind of similar to these games. It's gonna feel like in the same ballpark.
If you master
it's flashy and fast.
That little active reload function, you can pull off some cool shit. That's what kind of sold. I was like, oh, it felt better than Rise of Ronin. Like Rise of Ronin felt undercooked, and that's why I dropped that game. I was like, okay, this is their baby.
Once you start piecing like the two characters together too, where you're pairing, you switch to the ninja and then you flip behind them, hit them in the back, they turn around, so you switch back to the samurai and you parry, it starts to feel like you're like, okay, I'm putting it together. It's cool. It's really cool.
Try it out. I mean, it's free. It's on the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I literally downloaded it. I was gonna play it, then lots of P came out. I said,
I know. Please. I'm still addicted to Nightreign. Stop it, please.
Damn. Yeah, I was gonna. Funny, I was gonna start Lies of P, and then I also was gonna same thing. And the TV is just like, oh, you play Nightreign? Need Nightreign? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. It's
you like didn't have to let this guy lie. That's the third lie you told.
That's true. That's the truth.
It's true. I put in the first of all, it wasn't to you.
I said, I guess I'll help.
I did. I put a ping in the group chat. Anybody want to play Nightreign? But nobody forced you to play. You can say no.
I felt an obligation because here's the thing. Here's why. Check the time by which he tweeted it, he messaged it, and I didn't respond. I was silent for like 20 minutes. I was like, I'm gonna let somebody else help. There was nobody wanted to play with them. I said, damn. I was like, okay, I'll go help. And I'm not even joking. I was just about to boot up what's called. And then you want me to tell you what happened? I get in the VC, the first thing TBA says to me, he says, thank God we were playing with a random and it sucked. And then I was like, oh, I'm glad that gave help.
That doesn't change the fact that the fact that you lied that you had to play. That's what you tried to imply. That's all I was saying.
As your friend, I had an obligation to help my friend.
All right, anime.
You would do the same for me.
Hey, my friend was in a crisis. I had to wrestle with the friendship power.
I had to. The puppets can wait.
Make sure you stream that because somebody else didn't.
I'll stream. Oh, you know me. I am not a fraud. I will
make sure you stream the boss fights. Let's move on to the news side of the podcast now that we're done talking about. We got other games to talk about, but we'll save it for our next podcast. This is June, so E3 is no longer allowed, but we do have Summer Games Fest, and with that comes a bunch of press conferences, and the first one we want to talk about is the June 2025 State of the Play, which had a bunch of highlights, not a bunch, but a few. Like, they announced a new Marvel fighting game called Marvel Token. Like I said, Neo 3 was announced with the demo. They first showed off the new 007 game. I put an article on the show notes with everything that was announced. Anything stand out to you, Jay, for the State of the Play?
Yeah, Jane Bond for sure. I know we saw a preview of that, and we finally got to see the trailer. So it looks really good. I like that. But I think the thing, at least in GI chat, which really got people was Token. Like that. I think that this is going to be a good successor to Marvel vs. Capcom, because a lot of people, especially in the FGC, which it started kind of making a comeback, they were wanting another Marvel vs. Capcom, and Ultimate was the last good one in a lot of people's opinion, because we don't even talk about the one that came after that. It like really came away as far as the FGC is concerned. But I think Token has a lot of potential to bring that feeling back, restore that feeling. I see a lot of like OGs who played Marvel vs. Capcom in one tournament back in the day. They're really hyped for that. So we're getting a surge FGC game. We're gonna talk about some more possibly, but those are the main two that I really enjoyed and wanted to find out.
Yeah, that Marvel Token looked fire, and I'm not gonna lie, between this and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but the Invincible game that they announced, the other tag fighter, if I was 2XKO, I'd be sweating right now. I would have loved to be on a fly on the wall this weekend at the Riot headquarters, because we got two major tag fighters announced, and I don't think people understand how big of a deal Marvel Token could be. I'm happy for System Arcs. Those are the ones that they're developing. These are the same people that make Guilty Gear. I'm happy because Guilty Gear is one of my favorite fighters, but I always felt like it was underrated. It's much more niche because it is an anime fighter, but the people who play it, they love it. I feel like this is Arc System Works' chance to really cross over into the mainstream because now you have the power of the Marvel IP, but you have the sound mechanics of their games. And another reason I'm excited is another thing I can guarantee. Well, I won't say guarantee, but I'm about 90 to 95% sure when this game launches, it's going to be buttery smooth because Guilty Gear Online is one of the best running games online, but a lot of people don't play it. And it's because it does run on that rollback netcode. They got it down to like a science. So you add the Marvel elements in there. So many different cool characters you can throw in there. The FGC is eating. I'm super excited about that one. Kind of what you said, the 007 looked fire. I'm getting Splinter Cell vibes from that. I'm not a big James Bond fan, but I'm getting what was the last one? Was it Conviction or the one from 2011? Blacklist. I'm getting kind of Blacklist vibes. So I'm looking forward to that. Silent Hill F. I've never played Silent Hill before, but this game looks interesting. I'm keeping my eye on that. I might try that one out. And then I'm a huge Final Fantasy Tactics fan. That's not something they announced the remaster. Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
I never knew you were a Tactics fan, huh?
Yeah. I played I didn't play it originally on PlayStation. I played it on the Game Boy Advance. I think that was the first remaster, and I fell in love with that game. So they announced the remaster. I don't know if I would get that day one because I've already beat it, but you know, if it's on Steam sale, I might pick it up or something like a PlayStation. I'll play it because I love that game. Neo 3 after playing the demo as a cop, and then we already knew Metal Gear was coming. One thing I didn't like about this press conference though is they gave an announcement for an announcement with Ghost of Yotei. Like we're all looking forward to this game. It's supposed to be coming out later this fall. Can we get some fucking gameplay? And they announced there's going to be another state of the play for Ghost of Yotei. And honestly, I wish that was a tweet. Like, don't fucking give us blue balls in the press conference by showing off a CG. And then at the end, it's like, oh, we'll reveal the gameplay in July. Like, bruh, just put out a tweet. We got another one coming in July. It was fucking annoying. What'd you think, though, Ethos?
Yeah, I liked it. But one game that you didn't bring up that I did like, Tales of what's it called? Of Tomorrow or Tides of Tomorrow? It's that like multiplayer.
That was a unique one. Yeah, that looked cool.
Okay. The one that's like they're like swim, they're around like water.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I do remember this. This one did look interesting. Yeah.
That one seemed pretty cool. It seems like a cool like how like Telltale has its choices, but it's like it takes the choices of what somebody who beat the game before you had done, and so it affects your story now. So it's like it impacts choices of someone future playing. That's a cool concept that I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that in a game before, so I'm down for it. Sword of the Sea, that looked kind of cool. That Sea of Remnants looks like a cool potential turn game. That seemed pretty fire. Digimon, that was cool. I
already knew. As soon as I think about Digimon, I think about Ethos now.
I'm rocking with the Digimon.
After fucking Expedition 33, it's kind of hard to play just a regular JRPG. No.
Man, shut up. Digimon, like I said. The only thing I was like, this is ass, was Baby Steps. I was actually disrespected. Like, I felt like
that shit was stupid.
Time. That was stupid. I was like, you're insulting my intelligence with that. And I didn't really care for it. I mean, there's an audience for Ninja Gaiden, the Ragebound 2D one.
That Pragmata game looked interesting. The one with the girl and the guy in space. It kind of gave me Dead Space vibes. I got to see more, but the visuals, I was like, this ain't coming to PS4. This ain't coming.
It gave me Last of Us in space vibes.
Yeah, it felt like I felt like somebody's gonna die. It felt like somebody
older grizzly dad taking care of a
it looked decent.
Okay.
That helps, yeah.
What do you feel about Romeo is a Dead Man?
Banger!
Yeah, that's a banger.
That was by the same people that made No More Heroes.
Yep.
Oh, that one looked. I was like halfway.
Suda 51. Yeah, Suda 51.
It was a lot going on in that trailer, but it looked interesting, creative,
and potential. Yeah, because I don't think I play any of those games, but I've always respected them. I respected the art style. I respected the community that was behind those games. So I think this one will be one that I'll be interested in.
Yeah.
What was go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, just picking back off of JG, like 007 without a doubt. I mean, I played nothing, Nightfire, Agent Under Fire. Oh man, I played so many of those games when I was younger. GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. So like to see it finally come back, because the last couple of them, like the movie tie-in ones, those were not good. So to see like they're doing a wholly like unique one, and it's from the same guys that do Hitman. that's a banger. Like I think that's going to be easily like I would be shocked if it ends up being bad. Like
and they're doing collaborations already. Like this.
Yeah, and they got
it looked like a mix between Hitman
Mads
and Splinter Cell.
Yeah, from Casino Royale.
It's probably going to be a mix of that. It's probably going to be a mix of like Hitman's like open-ended design of like how you handle the mission with like maybe stealth from like Splinter Cell with it, which Hitman had stealth too. So I mean, man, that game has me so excited. I've been waiting for that 007 since they first announced it, I think like during the pandemic. So I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being like a game of the year. I just got IO's been in their bag lately with like the game Hitman trilogy that they finished. So I think they're like at their height. They're about to make something really fire. So
what's your sentiment towards the state of the play, Watts?
I was pretty happy about it. Obviously Neo 3 being announced is crazy. That was something that's like you're announcing more of like my favorite game. Silent Hill F I thought looked banging. Like I generally have enjoyed Silent Hill games. But this one I really like that the setting that they're doing, they're really tapping into it being super creepy. They're not trying to make like an American horror game, because with Resident Evil and Silent Hill, you had like Eastern devs trying to make like an American game, which is really funny. So I like that they're doing their own kind of thing. And I thought it looked really good. I thought just all of it was super great. The Romeo game, I thought that looked really cool. The freaking Tolkien announcement was insane. That was just something that is like fundamentally changing like tag team fighting in general for the foreseeable future. I like to see more of the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I know the demo is out right now for Steam Next Fest, which I need to check out because I'm really excited to play that. And Pragmata. Seeing more of Pragmata was crazy. Like this game has been, when you speak to the Japanese public about their most anticipated games, this one has been the top one like every year since it was announced.
Interesting.
Really?
And yeah. This one it's exciting. I think people may not know why it's exciting because I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But it's Capcom's it's Capcom doing a brand new like action adventure sci-fi game, and it's a brand new IP from Capcom, which doesn't happen very often, right? You think about, they have Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, they're doing Onimusha, like it's all like long withstanding franchises. So for Capcom to be making a brand new franchise, it's exciting, and Capcom's been cooking recently, so
yeah,
I'm
about
excited
time.
to see it.
Like I said, I'm put down the sword, man. Y'all can have it, bro. We don't talk about it.
But guys, no Wolverine though, so it was ass. No Wolverine.
I forgot
It
that's
was
what people were
awesome.
most anticipated. I forgot.
liked
I'm
it.
sorry, y'all.
Superheroes and footballs, you can
Tolkien.
play something else.
Blame
got
the
Tolkien,
hackers.
bro.
Y'all ain't gonna never see that game.
Yeah, they probably go pull a GTA.
A lot of people were saying
I saw
online
too
that
much.
this state of the play was ass. I don't agree with that. I thought it was like a 6-7.
Nah.
I saw several things that I liked and I wanted to play, and I'm okay with that. I've noticed
Look,
a lot.
TBH.
Go ahead.
There are two things. Remember, I told you there are two things. If they don't get it, they're going to say it's ass. If they don't see Bloodborne 2, or if they don't see Wolverine now, but Bloodborne 2 is number one. If they don't see that, they're going to.
I'm realizing people don't understand the concept of demographics. People watch these shows with assuming everything is for them. And my thing is, I'm watching it from, okay, what's for me, but also what do I think has the potential to sell? What do I think there are things that other people will like? Because that's a W in itself too. But people will see nothing they like and they'll be like, the shit is ass. But I'm like, there's plenty of things there that other people would buy. You just don't play any fucking games. So like, I'm not gonna call it flat out ass. Yeah, it's like people are super selfish. I don't get it.
Yeah, but that gets into, again, when the end of the year comes and the Game Awards come, they see all these nominees. Like, what the fuck is this game? What did this win? It happens every single time. It's a tale as old as time. They're going to continue to do it.
And then the show was only 45 minutes, thank God. Unlike the Summer Games Fest, this is entirely too fucking long. So it was okay. It was okay. Like I agree with it. Let's move on to that. Summer Games Fest, that shit was ass. That was one of the worst ones to me in a while. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man.
It felt like they had maybe an hour to 45 minutes worth of content, but he pushed it to 2 because he got to get that ad money, boy. It was just
sounds like a YouTuber.
Just it was just filling the slots. I'm like, this shit keep going with stuff that nobody fucking cares about, man. The only thing I came out of that I was interested in was Resident Evil 9 looked cool, which they're calling Resident Evil Requiem. The Liza P DLC, because I didn't know if it was coming. Oh yeah, they shadow dropped it. Dying Light was cool. The Wu-Tang, I like Wu-Tang.
I
gotta see gameplay. I gotta see more gameplay.
It's already some controversy behind it. Did you see?
Oh boy. The DEI thing because of
the DEI. They said Sweet Baby Inc. is consulting on this game, so they're calling it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they already got it in their sights.
They haven't taken enough L's yet.
Good luck to them, man. Cause shout out to Danny, man. Danny from for Gaming Tag Radio is he's a part of this team. So like I want to see it succeed.
That's right.
Because of them. Yeah. So like, man, I really hope that they can get that passing. But this is just a side note.
Mortal Shell 2 looked cool. Did
anybody play the first one?
No.
I played the first one. I did not like the first one. I thought the combat was kind of clunky, and the level design was just like, oh lord, this level design is real bad. But the ideas behind like having different shells and that essentially being like different classes, and you can get different ones and pick something that resonates with you I really love the idea a lot. Mortal Shell 2 looks pretty different. I know that Mortal Shell 1 was a pretty tiny team, so the team is like much bigger now. Not a huge team, obviously. It's still an indie game. We're going from like 10 to like 30. All right. But this trailer, I was like, is this Mortal Shell? Because combat looks a lot different. The bosses look a lot different. I thought that trailer was actually really good. I think it was one of my favorite trailers. The way that it was edited and put together was really cool.
I almost forgot about Mortal Shell. When I said, oh, this is Mortal Shell 2. I thought it was another Souls game. Like a different one.
It was in early access for so long. I feel like a lot of people thought about it. They kind of forgot about it. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. And lost momentum. Onimusha,
I would definitely play Mortal Shell 2.
Yeah, it looked interesting. I'm keeping an eye on that.
Finally get to see a little bit more gameplay. So it looks like it's not going to be the same type of gameplay from before. Well, I mean, which I do because it's 5. So, but you know, I'm happy to get to see a little bit more. I just put a smiley face. People already
Sonic.
I'm sorry. I feel sorry for y'all, man. I'm sorry. I finally got my.
It looked good. I was like, the gameplay looks good. It looks fun.
Sonic Crossworlds took a shot at Mario Kart on stage.
They did.
That looked good. I ain't gonna lie.
It do.
They showed Hatsune Miku and they showed the Persona guys. And I was like,
I don't know about the Minecraft. Minecraft, you can stay there, but it's cool, I guess.
They got Yakuza guys. They got my boy
Ichiban.
Yeah.
What was the name of the Japanese game that takes place in the 40s? That one looked cool too.
That is on my list. Yeah,
we finally got it's
Stranger Than
Century.
Heaven.
Yeah, Stranger Than Heaven. They finally revealed the title. I said, oh my god, bro! I swear, RGG, bro, RGG be cooking.
It looks really good. They opened up with the music and the jazz bar. I was like, I'm
loving the setting here. I said, yes, give me more.
It was like 5 things that like. It was only, Resident Evil, I'm like, okay, that's looking like a day one cop. Obviously, Liza P. Overture. After that, for me, it was just a bunch of like 50-50 type of stuff and a bunch of stuff I damn for sure am not playing. Stuff that's not highlighted in this article.
Atomic Heart, though.
Fuck no.
Because here's my thing, right? Atomic Heart 2 looks great. And the cube, like I'm interested in that different style. But I'm just wondering where this momentum is coming from, because I remember when Atomic Heart came out, I tried it and I just couldn't get into it.
People said I was hating.
What's going to be different with this one. And I'm like, damn, you're already coming out with a sequel and then you're coming out with the spinoff. I'm like, I didn't think that game was very well received. So I'm not hating on them, but I just...
It wasn't. It was getting 5s and 6s across the board. So when they first showed it, I did not care. And I'm gonna be honest, like you said, that trailer, that game does look better than the first one. But based off the data that I do have, I am not excited for the second one. That was a gooner, freaked out ass game, and it wasn't.
It was good as fuck.
And then the gunplay was really clunky. It wasn't a good game. So I'm like, I'll wait. I'm not saying I wouldn't play it. I'll wait for the reviews for that one. That's why I didn't get excited.
Okay.
But other than that, a lot of stuff.
Code Vein 2 is a big one for me because I love Code Vein. I love Code Vein. Code Vein
You
2,
should
though.
that should not be surprising to you.
Man,
like
Ethos
Code
played
Vein.
that shit. That shit was ass to us, bro. We dropped that game.
I like Code Vein. Co-op. You playing co-op? That's what's wrong. No co-op.
No, we play co-op. It was me and Ethos
That's
who
what we were
played.
doing.
I don't
was
play
like,
co-op.
yeah.
That's the problem.
It's better without co-op.
I don't know, maybe. I really liked Code Vein. Code Vein 2, they went with a weird art style for the trailer because I was like, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's Code Vein here, but Code Vein actually, I think one of the highlights of it was it had like that cell shaded style, which looked really cool. But then when I looked at the gameplay, I was like, okay, the gameplay looks more similar to Code Vein 1, but I think the trailer they were using like a weird art style. So I'm looking forward to Code Vein 2. Another one was intense body horror spooky game.
It's very nasty.
There was a lot of greasy babies that you could kick.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, you can punch them damn babies.
Like absolute Batman.
Oh shit!
That looks
Acts of
fun.
Blood.
You know?
Remember
Yeah.
Acts of Blood. It looks like
Yeah.
seafood, kind of. That game looked fire.
It sounded
game
like
was cool.
it sounded like to me y'all enjoyed the Summer Games Fest presentation more than me. So what would you
I
rate it?
think you were a little bit too harsh on it, T-Babe. There were some good games that were announced, bro. I understand if it was a little bit long. I
thought if they would have
was
cut out
long,
an
yeah.
hour and that was an hour show, it would have been a much better show.
If it was like bang, 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 here's our next one. Then
it was too much
a little bit of
fluff
talking.
in between the bangers.
Yeah.
So
I
what,
hear you.
What would you have rated it, Watts, out of 10?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a 7.5, maybe. Although it's hard because they drop Liza P. So that puts it pretty high up there.
What about you, Ethos?
Fell asleep in halfway through it, so I'm
Oh damn!
I got to hour 1 and I was like, we got through all the I want. So I
Set
do
up
think
on
it
your
went
mic,
a
you
little
cutting
bit
out.
Oh, my bad. I said I almost fell asleep, just like the cutting out. That was me cutting in Summer Games Fest.
Oh Lord.
Don't worry.
I didn't watch it live, so I had to
Maybe
just watch all the individual trailers.
It.
Though.
That's why. Okay.
But I'll give it ages for the trailers though. 'Cause there were a lot of games that I actually want to try. Killer N was another one. Like we need to get into party games. I think the Killer N was interesting. Like
Killer N was
that's a
interesting,
who
yeah.
done it, who done it type of game. Like I think that'll be fire. Like
It's like Among Us mixed with Clue.
What that ends?
Yeah. It's an end, bro. What are you talking about?
You be killing in the end. You're killing in the end.
Killing people in the end. Among Us.
Freaking.
Chrono Odyssey. What about that?
We got to see more Chrono Odyssey. I'm excited about Chrono Odyssey.
Chrono Odyssey look good.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, they were good about a game, T-Baze. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
probably,
Six.
yeah, I'd have to count
5.
it, but I probably had like, I don't know, at least 8 games from Summer Game Fest, I think.
It was 5, 6 for me. I'm good off that, bro. It wasn't nothing there for me, and I didn't really see anything that I think people are going to be talking about next year like that. Besides the few that we named, like the 5 that I was like, okay, I can see. That's kind of where we're at with that one. Now, the next one, I thought they had the best show of the year, 2 years in a row now, which would be the Xbox showcase, which happened on Sunday. I felt like they had mostly bangers. I think I counted like 10 games that I was interested in.
Call of Duty? Oh,
and
yeah.
the show, fuck no. And the show.
One
First of all, let's
last
talk about
thing.
that was a terrible way to end the show. I thought they were going to show Gears of War E-Day. They said Black Ops 7. That's terrible because the news came out that this shit's coming to PS4, so don't get your hopes up. I think we might have another Modern Warfare 3 on our hands here with some half-ass bullshit. Because I'm like, we just got Black Ops 6. Where did this come from, bro? There's no way it was the same team working on Black Ops 6 as 7, unless you burning them the fuck out. So I'm not getting my hopes up. I mean, it's gonna be on Game Pass, so I guess I'm not gonna complain too much. It'll be free.
The Game Pass provides.
But nah.
A lot of like Call of Duty zombie people seem to really like that trailer, but I think regardless of whether you love COD or not, being like, and one last thing, and it being a game that comes out every year. It's kind of crazy. It's like, one last thing, Madden's coming out again. Bet you didn't know that. Crazy.
Freaking
Yeah, more Call of Duty.
I think Xbox arguably had one of the biggest surprises of this year because they announced a new Invincible game called Invincible Versus, which is a 3v3 tag game. And I found out this is being made by the same people who made Killer Instinct, which is funny because I said like 3 days ago on my stream, I was like, yo, it's about time for Microsoft to drop a new Killer Instinct. That's criminally underrated. And to find out that they're making this game, I'm like, oh, this game's going to have crazy combos. And then, so you know the gameplay is going to be tight. But then you add in the fact that it's got the Invincible IP, it's going to bring a lot of eyeballs in. This is their chance to really kind of cross over. So I'm super excited about that. Do y'all care about Invincible? Do y'all watch it?
Yes. No, that looks fire. I'm already seeing Maximilian. He put out a video saying he tried it. I think he's probably consulting at this point or doing some game testing. He said it's unlike any other 3v3 tag game that he's ever played. So he's giving it really high regards. I know Nomad, he kills games left and right, but he's excited for that one too. So we'll see how that ends up.
Mortal
But,
Kombat.
it looks really good.
Super bloody.
I know nobody played. He remember he made that tweet. I'm gonna pull it up.
Oh shit! Freaking this Mudang game. I think it looked like a Korean kind of stealth shooter game.
Yeah.
That looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that looked pretty
looks
cool.
interesting.
It's a mixture of, because it's called Mudang Two Hearts, and I assume that's because you're playing as a K-pop artist and a North Korean soldier. And you're like doing like it's very, I think they said they're inspired by Splinter Cell. So it's like a Korean Splinter Cell.
It makes sense, yeah, because
I was getting old school Ghost Recon vibes from it, like Future Soldier type shit.
Yeah, more of that than
that Clockwork game looked gas. Clockwork Revolution, that looked like a mix between like BioShock Infinite and maybe like the Outer Worlds. I really like the art style, the gunplay. It was a meaty trailer too. The character customization. I was like, oh yeah, that's a day one. Got to play that. Chronos, the New Dawn, looked fire to me. That looks
I'm super excited for that game.
Yeah, it's Dead Space type shit. Speak on it. What makes you excited about it?
So it's by Bloober Team, and so they're the people that did the Silent Hill 2 remake. So we knew that was really good. But the thing with that team is they tend to have really good ideas, and then they tend not to execute it super well. Personally, I've enjoyed the stuff that they've done because I like the ideas that they have, and I think the game is like solid. But Chronos New Dawn looks like this might be the one, which is like an actual new IP. It's their own thing that ends up being really good. The vibes are right. I remember seeing the very first trailer. They had like the very Dead Space horror stuff, but then they also had him like in an astronaut suit playing chess with like an old lady in a house. And there was a lot of like trippy stuff going on. And when I looked into it, it seems like they're doing a thing with like body horror. There's a big focus on them making things look like you would expect, but something's not quite right. And they have a couple dev blogs as well, where I think the premise is that you're trying to go back in time after something really terrible happened and save people. So it's putting all of that mysteries together. You're diving back in time and stopping creatures from merging and becoming unstoppable. Gross things.
You've been quiet, Ethos. Anything stand out to you from the Xbox showcase?
I didn't watch it. That's why I didn't say anything.
Oh my god, you didn't watch the
I was
best
up late.
one?
I missed it. Yeah,
What a
unfortunately, because that's how bad the Summer Games Fest was. I fell asleep so much it comatosed me the day after, so I couldn't even watch that one.
Man, slept for 48 hours. Okay. We got a bear on the podcast. Grounded 2 was announced. I don't really care. I play Grounded. But I know somebody likes that. That's why Grounded.
There are people that love Grounded.
Yeah.
I freaking love it.
Audience.
I'm not going to
Beast of Reincarnation.
Yes.
Game Freak. Had Nintendo been holding y'all back because this looks fire.
The frame rate didn't, but the concept does. Yes, we are keeping.
I hope they refine it, but man, that I was very surprised. I was like, Game Freak. Yeah,
so you didn't see this one? You didn't see this one?
I saw on Twitter, and I made fun of it on Twitter.
Nah, this shit look fire, bro. You're bugging.
No, not that. I'm talking about people making fun of Pokemon.
Okay.
Which I always love doing. It's my favorite pastime.
Yeah, shout out to Game Freak, man. They finally, under the grass.
Is this the first
grass
non-Pokemon game they've made since Red and Blue? Like, is this the first like different thing they've made? I don't know.
I think they made something else, like a mobile game or something else that like didn't get any traction at all. Like nobody talked about. I'm gonna look them up real quick, but I think
I'm rooting for Game Freak. At one point. Yeah, this looks like a day one.
This looks so good, man. So this is like post-apocalyptic Japan, and you're fighting as like a human, and then I think you also have a dog, and it's like an action RPG. And they said that it has demanding technical combat, which is Japanese code word for Souls-like.
Souls game.
Shit, that sounds like the Kazaa developers when they sponsored my stream. They said don't call it a Souls game. They said call it a hardcore RPG. I'm like, okay,
hardcore,
whatever you want to say,
whatever, buddy.
Technical combat game.
As long as the check
RPG.
Game Freak, like, so during the Pokemon days, the only other games they made is Drill Dozer in 2005. Nobody knows what that is. Harmonite in 2012. And Tempo the Badass Elephant in 2015, Giga Wrecker in 2019, and Little Town Hero.
That sounds racist. Giga Wrecker. What the fuck that mean, bro?
I know. So nobody knows what these games are, unfortunately. So yeah, they have.
So this is the first time doing like a AAA, like full mature kind of game.
The game and the concept looks fire, but that worries me. They might have some optimization issues, especially after that last Pokemon game.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't the Switch hardware. Maybe Game Freak just is not the best at optimizing. I don't know.
We'll see, man. I'm going to be optimistic about this one just because it piqued my interest.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Double Fine's next game, this Walking Lighthouse Keeper game, I didn't really understand what I was looking at, but they are super creative because they made Psychonauts, and I love Psychonauts. I just didn't understand why I would want to play as a lighthouse. Didn't do anything for anybody.
Yeah, I didn't see this trailer. I'm looking at it now. What is happening here? Yeah, something again.
I feel like I gotta wait. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because they make really creative, good games. But I gotta see a review first because I was just confused
see some
by
more
the trailer.
gameplay and stuff. I think
I never thought, man, I really want to save the day as a lighthouse. Indiana Jones DLC got announced. I know that people love it. Ethos, you loved it. Didn't do nothing for me, but it's a win for somebody.
Good,
Tony Hawk, they announced the release date for that as well as like a demo that's playing.
I know you were hating. I was hating. You want Thug? Yeah, could you say you would rather see Thug get remade?
That's not hating. I just because I want Thug, I'm happy for because it's on Game Pass. I'm not going to hate. It's free.
Okay, all right.
I prefer Thug.
All right, because you was like, I say that this was coming. You like sleep emoji. I was like, oh, here he go. You like, I want to see Thug.
So wait, when this shit drop, I better see your ass on Tony Hawk 3 or 4. Day one, the way you talking, boy. I'm just saying, I'm only playing this game if I got some free time. But am I dying and itching to play Tony Hawk 3
live, man? You know what? No, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, shut your ass up. No, it came out at the wrong time. You gotta. Listen, game developers. It's so much competition in these streets. You gotta drop bangers, bro. It's just what it is, man. My time is tight right now.
Crazy, man. The summer ain't even safe no more. Remember we used to like have a summer drought. We don't even have a summer drought anymore.
There's not.
It's a good bad issue to have.
It's a good thing, but yeah, dude, I was like, oh, maybe this summer Game Fest, I'll actually be able to check out a bunch of indie demos, and then everyone's like, we're releasing everything all at once. So
like as a content creator, streamer, yeah, we're cooked.
I'm gonna try my best.
Stressed. Ninja Gaiden 4, they showed more of it and they said it's dropping.
They showed it, yeah.
Looks good.
Got a release date. Okay. It looks good. People also got hands-on, so now there's like more gameplay of Ninja Gaiden, and yeah, it looks like a really well done new Ninja Gaiden. It looks crazy fast. It looks good.
I didn't need to see any more of this. I knew I was gonna buy it. This is a day one cop.
I'm gonna buy it.
I love Ninja Gaiden. This one was a surprise for me. Super Meat Boy 3D got revealed. First Super Meat Boy game since like the 360 era, thing like that. And I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I look at the trailer. This shit look fire to me. I like platformers. I was like, oh, this is a cop for me. I think this is gonna be on Game Pass. So I was like, I'm not even a Super Meat Boy fan. I didn't play the original, but I just like this kind of this level design that they're doing. It's kind of like a 2D 0.5 type of setup. It looked really good to me. I was like, okay, I'll play that. It looks like a fun game to hop on to. Sea of Thieves, I keep calling it Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves DLC or season 17 got announced. I know people love it. That's why it's got season 17. With me personally,
that's really crazy that they're on season 17. Like, where's the time going? They're just rolling through these seasons like
no. Well, JG, it's not crazy. You know why? You know who's keeping this game alive?
What?
PlayStation ninjas. That's who.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the best-selling games on PS5, not the Xbox. Them PlayStation boys love these Xbox games, bro. So yeah, they gonna keep dropping the seasons because that Sony version of Game Pass don't really got nothing on it but fucking Ape Escape 2. Don't nobody want to play that shit. The ROG.
Neighbor's Gate.
The ROG, I did too, but I'm not paying $100 a year to play that shit. I don't even own it. The ROG Xbox Ally, it got announced, which is a collaboration between Asus and Xbox for a handheld. This version, because there's already other ones they have, this version is basically the Xbox controller, so it's their grips with a screen in the middle, and then they have a new custom UI that allows you. The Windows 11 is still running in the back from what I read, but the UI is much more like Steam OS, but it includes everything. So it has Steam on it, it has Battle.net, Epic Launcher, all that shit. So it's easy to get through all your games, Game Pass as well, and then you get the extra horsepower. All the previews I watched said this thing is actually really good. I seen one that went as far as to say this is the best feeling handheld because of the Xbox controller. It feels much better in comparison to like the Steam Deck and the other ones. It's just for what they're offering. Is it worth the price? I don't know, because I don't know what the freaking price is. I couldn't find anything. Have y'all seen a price on this thing?
No,
I have not. No.
It looks like a cool device. It's just
it's cool. Yeah, like if I can run Steam and I can run Game Pass on a handheld, I'd be happy.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's the ease of access. Like for me and Ethos, I'm sure Ethos has done it already, but I've already technically have Game Pass on my Steam Deck, so I can easily just load it up and play my games. So I feel like the Steam Deck is kind of like the Android of handhelds now. Like you do everything. It's going to take a little bit of tinkering. But these other handhelds that are coming out are going to more easy access of getting to what you need to get to quicker without any additional downloading or whatever. So, but if you already have a Steam Deck, like would you want to purchase it? That's my question. I think the answer is going to be emphatically no. Like there's no reason. Or if you already have a ROG Ally, would you purchase this? Like maybe trade it in if you really, really want the new design. But again, I think the answer is going to be no. This is going to be like if you are a diehard Xbox fan and you want this specific one, and you don't own any other handhelds.
Pretty much. Like I'm interested in it, but then I'm afraid to pull the trigger, and then they announce Steam Deck too. Like I'll just sit out. I don't know, man. They announced a new Plague's Tale. Plague's Tale
They
Renaissance.
did.
That's one of the big
excited
bangers.
about that one.
Yes, sir. I love Plague's Tale Requiem. I didn't see Little Rat Boy, so is this like a prequel or something? They announced that one. I was like, that's a day one. It's probably going to be on Game Pass because that's one of my favorite games of the last 10 years. So like that was an instant.
No, next year. So yeah, 2026 for that one.
High on Life 2 got announced.
Played a little bit of that.
I played a bit of the first. Yeah,
I beat it. I liked the first one. That ending was horrible though. I almost died. Did y'all didn't beat the game?
I didn't know.
The ending is it is called High on Life, but the ending is straight up an acid trip. It actually hurt my eyes. Like I docked points because the ending was maybe I'm old, but it was pretty bad.
Damn.
It was pretty bad. They show more Outer Worlds too, but we knew that was coming. That's a cop. Me personally, I would have rated this a 9 if they showed Gears of War E-Day and they didn't do that Black Ops 7 bullshit. So for me, it's an 8.
Well, you know what else? I need
something?
to rant about this for just a little bit. So they were saying, they announced the handheld, and it was all Silksong gameplay, all of it, Silksong gameplay on the handheld. And they're like, it's coming holiday 2025, and Silksong is launching right along with it. And I'm like, Silksong is starting to piss me off.
Can y'all explain to me what's the love for this game? Like y'all have a diehard fan.
Hollow Knight is just like it's just one of those games that's just such an incredible experience. It's like just a really well crafted Metroidvania game. It's really good. And Silksong was announced like not too long after Hollow Knight came out, and we've just been waiting for what feels like 18 years for this game to come out. And it's always been like it's become almost like Bloodborne 2 level, right? It's like, will we hear about Silksong? Will we hear about Bloodborne? It's like up there with it. And they keep coming at me like, yeah, we're still making it, still think it's happening. And now this year we've seen Silksong on Nintendo for like half a millisecond of gameplay. We're like, oh, Silksong's at the Nintendo thing. And then we have Silksong at the Xbox showcase. It's like, can you guys please just tell us a release date, or give us a trailer, like an actual trailer for Silksong and say 2025 instead of just appearing on random other companies' things in the background. So like,
okay, I've never really taken the full time to look this up, but okay, so this game is published by Team Cherry, and this is the only game that they made, correct? From what I'm seeing. So why are they being so mysterious? Like, is this just their thing? Like, is this just what they want to do? Or has it just become a meme for so long that Silksong was coming out that they're just riding a wave and they're like, we're not going to show y'all. We're just going to show you a millisecond of gameplay. We're going to, give slight hints on the Steam page that is coming out. You could wish list it, and now this. Like, is that just what they want to do now, just to create more seriousness until it comes out?
No, I think the reason why it's taken them so long is because they've said that like they keep adding on to it. They wanted to make it bigger and bigger, and they're making it. I think they're just adding more and more and more to it. And the reason why we've been like, well, when's it coming? Surely it's going to be soon. Is because it was announced at E3 in 2019, and it had a playable demo in 2019. So it's been 6 years. It's been 6 years since it was announced with a playable demo. So we're all just like, hello?
Yeah.
Where is that? When is it happening? People were playing it 6 years ago.
So at least Hollow Knight Silksong fans have something or have had something in the past. Or like Bloodborne, which is nothing. Bloodborne 2 is nothing.
We know it's coming out. It's not like they're just like, so you guys are making it up. It's not like Bloodborne 2, but it's like, man, this thing was announced 6 years ago, and now we're just getting little hints in like Nintendo, Xbox. It's in the background there somewhere. It's coming this year, maybe.
It's like, are you going to get a trailer? Or are you going to like announce it yourselves? Are you going to do like a Rockstar and just announce it yourselves, which you can very easily do. You don't need, you need Xbox to announce it. So like, when is a trailer going to come? What are you going to say? Like definitively coming out? Like, I don't.
I'm like, it says holiday 2025, but it's not a release date, so they can still go, nope, just kidding.
Yeah, I think they're doing this on purpose.
Hashtag, if you make it to this part of the podcast, leave in the comments hashtag justice for Silksong fans.
We've been saying that for years, bro.
Dude, I mean, you saw the Deadpool VR game was like poking fun at Silksong. They were like, yeah, Jeff, hold off on that Silksong trailer and let's play our Deadpool VR trailer. Please stop it. Please.
Which was actually pretty good.
It looked pretty
VR
cool.
Game. Yeah, I actually kind of liked it, but I don't have a VR headset. Like,
I don't want to play VR.
It looked cool though.
It's funny too because I mean we talk about the Sony State of the Play, we talk about general gaming with the Summer Games Fest, what Xbox had with their showcase. The viewer might be wondering, what about Nintendo? What has Nintendo been up to? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Nobody asked, but we're gonna act like it. Nintendo launched, that's right, their latest console, the Nintendo Switch 2. And it doesn't feel like it because it doesn't, outside of hardcore Nintendo fans, you don't really see anybody talking about it. We didn't even talk about it at the top of the podcast, and it's because nobody here owns it. So we're not going to spend that much time on it, but I wanted to kind of get everybody's general impressions because nobody owns it. Well, I take that back. Watts does own it. I take that back. You got it. Whatever.
It's in our household.
Yeah, it's in your house. So you got the most experience. What's your first impressions of the Nintendo Switch 2?
So I am like generally not a big Nintendo fan. I wanted to switch to for Dusk Bloods next year. So part of me was like, should I just like pre-order it now in case there's, the last console launches have not exactly gone well. I've been very used to not being able to get my hands on anything for a while. So I was like, maybe I should just pre-order, but I didn't because we have one anyway. So I don't plan on playing it until next year with Dusk Bloods. There's not a whole lot here. It's, if you really like Mario Kart, there's Mario Kart World, but that is like the only thing that it launched with pretty much. Elden Ring isn't even on there yet.
Just a bunch of ports. I tried to get it. I tried to pre-order it. Didn't get it. I wasn't trying super hard. It wasn't like 2020 when the PS5 came out. I remember I was on stream refreshing multiple browsers until I got that shit. They had the sign up thing. I signed up for the line. I didn't get it. I was cool. I was like, I'll wait because there's nothing I want to play till 2026.
Right.
I'm interested. in that Donkey Kong game, but I'm not like dying to play it. Like I'll wait. I don't really personally care about. I know people like Mario Kart, but I don't personally care for it.
I do know that I got some free Pringles and a Coke because we got it from Walmart. So that was nice. Yeah.
They want to make sure you stay in the house.
Barbecue. I got them.
You know why, bro? That's like the Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Recession indicator. They get
I know Pringles was the new standard of.
I'll take free Pringles and a Coke.
Pringles and Coke now, yeah.
Y'all two got any thoughts on the Switch 2's launch?
I think I'm just too old for this now. Like,
you want to put your minutes cap on?
I see people like I see a clip of Dashi and Corey Kitchen. They like went to the GameStop launch and like everybody was excited. I'm like, man, like this totally not me. Like I would never do that. Like even if I had the I don't know. Like I just had no excitement at all. Like I didn't even experience any sort of FOMO. Like when I get it, I'll get it. But I definitely was not rushing to go out and purchase it, especially like seeing everybody who's like, oh, I'm so excited. And like I seen was like he went viral on Twitter because like he bought like damn near all the ports of all the games that came out, and people were like, oh, you were broke boy, which is so funny. I was like, you bought all wait, he was like, I ain't broke. Like he's like, oh, I'm famous. Like so, he kept going. Like he bought like damn near every single game over, and I'm like, damn, like you really bought all the ports. Like, what are you truly trying to do? Are you gonna replay all of the games that you've already played? Like, what is the purpose of that? Like, I just didn't understand that. Like some people just acting very weird about this, given that it's only really one new game that you can play, and technically outside of the world aspect and a couple of other game modes, it's still Mario Kart. Like you can do your Tony Hawk, you can go on the rails, but like what's truly different about this Mario Kart that has people so giddy? Like I think a lot of people are just being delusional right now, and it's showing their like Super Nintendo fandom, and that's fine, but it also brings out a lot of like the mantra, y'all gotta grow one day. Like how long are you going to this up where you just so into Nintendo and you're like, I don't care, like I'm every single thing that they throw at me, and you're going to continue to feed on when Nintendo now sees that you're going to pay very easily $80 for whatever game comes out, no matter what. Like they're going to justify it, and you're going to just it up. Like that's the thing that I'm just more afraid of, for like people going out and just purchasing this day one just to sit there and look at it and just play Mario Kart, and that's it right now. For now,
I have some other thoughts, but since you said that, I'm going to use that as a perfect segue into this article that just hit my timeline about an hour ago, and I literally just threw it on the notes. People were talking about, oh, I'm not buying $80-$90 games. The Switch costs too much. But articles just coming out saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling piece of hardware in Nintendo's history. They've pushed 3.5 million units in the first week. And just in comparison, I believe the PS5 only sold like 1 million like the first week or whatever. It did more than 3 times that. So somebody's lying here. Somebody bought it. What I will say about these numbers that I am very interested about is these are all the pre-order numbers. These are the numbers that people pre-ordered it, because I feel like there's another reason I don't have FOMO for this is the sentiment around it is it did sell well, but everybody I've seen play Mario Kart say they like it, but the open world is desolate. Like there's nothing to do in it. It's actually ass. Like the best part about Mario Kart is the traditional Mario Kart part. So I was confused when I seen the reviews giving it 9.5. I'm like, the new features you guys don't even like. So I'm like, all right. It's kind of like what you were saying, Jay. I'm like, are they being delusional, like in denial about this stuff? It looks like a solid 8.5 to me, but like, I don't see anything. It looks like Mario Kart 8 DLC to me. Doesn't look at anything that's mind blowing. And then another reason that I don't have FOMO is because I'm seeing videos, as well as I know people personally, the analog sticks is falling off. The stick drift is still there.
Lord.
They falling off. Nintendo is repairing them for free, so I'll give them that. But this is a new $500 console, $600 if you got the game, controller, with the taxes. And within 24 hours, people are showing pictures and videos of the analog sticks falling off. So I'm like, it's exactly what I told you. I'll wait like a year. We'll wait till the Dust Blood board game.
We'll wait until Dust Blood comes out. Maybe there'll be a Dust Blood Switch 2. And I'll be happy to have that one.
Yeah, what I find even weirder about that, and again, I definitely am rolling with the theory that people are delusional. Like, if you point it out or like have any criticism about anything Nintendo related, they're like, "Oh, why are you worried about what other people are buying?" I'm like, because I am speaking for the consumer, like overall. I'm not speaking for you personally. Yes, people can buy whatever they want. Yes, I don't have access to you all's money, but I want you all to really think, like, why would you just openly go out and buy something day one and like be expecting it to be perfect? Tech day one is never perfect. There are always going to be major issues. And if you were just allowing things like the stick drift to still happen, how is the stick drift still happening? Like, that's crazy. Like, this is a brand new console and they made so many units, especially trying to make sure that they have enough units because of these possible tariffs that were coming. So like, you still have these same flaws, these same issues that were in the original Nintendo Switch. Like, for me, that would be something that would be unacceptable if I spent $500-$600 for this with all the accessories. But again, people are just going to buy it and they're just going to not care because they spent their hard-earned money for it. But like, I wish that people would be a little bit more smart about their purchases instead of just going out and getting something they want just because.
I wonder,
because now we have the Outer Worlds 2 being $80.
And the worst part is I'm seeing TikTok videos and I be putting them in the group chat all on my timeline. People are like, "I'm upset I bought this. I'm bored." One dude said I was bored after 2 hours. There's nothing to do on it. It makes me wonder, is what we're dealing with a lack of basic understanding of economics, or is it just a lack of self-control? Because like, if they, instead of 3.5 million units, right, if they would have sold 100,000, tomorrow the price would have dropped. And I wonder how many people don't understand the concept of supply and demand. Like, do they not teach that in school? Like, if you guys just relax a little bit and show them we don't really want it that bad, it forces them to drop the price because the demand is so low. But I mean, the demand is so high for Nintendo, I guess, they're just going to do whatever the fuck they want.
I think it's both, but I think you do. I think you're onto something. I think a lot of people just don't have self-control. Like, FOMO is a real thing. And I truly believe that a lot of people were like, "Hey, there is a chance that I might not be able to get this console. And I really, really want it. And I want it even more because I'm seeing other people and they really, really want it." So like, they truly lack the self-control. They cannot wait. They just had to get it day one. And honestly, it kind of felt like the same way, I need to look and see how many games that the PS5 came out at launch. But we admitted, once we bought it, that the PS5 ain't had no game. Like, that was a running joke for a time. They had launched the PS5 games. And we told people straight up, you can wait on it. Like, you don't have to buy it. Like, wait a little bit in order for it to come out with some games. And then it'll be fine to purchase. Give it a year or so. But and it's ended up being the same way with Nintendo Switch 2. Like, we're talking about Dust Blood that comes out next year. Like, talk about.
And that's one game.
And we're like, we're fine. That's one
yeah.
game. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. You've been kind of quiet, Ethos. Any takes on Nintendo?
I was just gonna say, I kind of give people a little bit of a break because I feel like the pandemic measurable damage to people's brain. I think that because of how there was like supply shortages and stuff, especially like all the electronics during that point. I think it's probably like still warped people's brains where now they're just scared of that constant feeling of like, I won't be able to get a PS, like how the PS5 was so scarce. Like, I won't be able to get a PS5. I won't be able to get, felt like years ago. That's probably my guess. That's probably why.
It just confuses me because a couple months ago, people was talking about, price of eggs, I can't afford gas.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
we got money for Switch 2. So, okay. Which one is it?
People's priorities, boy.
Over here excited about windmills going at 60 FPS. Crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. The Pokemon footage, man.
The windmills. Like, I'm so happy.
Fans deserve less, bro.
Celebrating old games. It is what it is. We'll see what Nintendo does, but like, I'm kind of indifferent about the Switch 2. Like, I've never been so unexcited about the launch of a console, and I'm like, am I getting older or is it Nintendo? And I think it's actually Nintendo.
It's Nintendo. It's Nintendo.
Because we was excited about that PS5, even though it didn't have no games, but we were still excited about it. Just
like, I knew eventually it would get some bangers.
Yeah.
Play.
Yep.
What is coming down the pipeline for the Switch 2 other than Dust Blood?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong next month. That's not. That's pretty much.
Is it?
Metroid looks okay.
Metroid's all I got, man.
Bring Star Fox back. Make some new IPs, man. Anyways, Other news. Earlier, I was talking about how, EA, how we need to prop up Expedition 33 because these studios, CEOs, they talk crazy about, the consumer. So we need to prop up studios that are doing more with less to prove that, you don't have to be a fucking dickhead to do good business. And I mentioned I had an article earlier about what EA was doing, and let's talk about it. So Dragon Age creator says EA executives thought BioWare fans would eat up whatever slop they were given since they're considered the nerds in the cave. They'll always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. I've already read this article. That's pretty much the gist of it. So basically, BioWare wanted more time to work on, Dragon Age and try to make sure to get it right, Veilguard. And EA was just like, fuck it. They're fucking dweebs that live in caves and they play RPGs, and the RPG fan is gonna show up because you guys wear glasses and you're fucking nerds. I was like, when I read this, I had to double read that headline, bro. That's crazy to talk about your customers like that, bro. Because the opposite happened. They shat on Veilguard. I think they went too hard on it, but they shat on that shit. The opposite happened, and I'm like, yo, it's crazy to hear them talk about that. What you think about this, Ethos?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I felt personally disrespected because I was like, damn, that's how you feel about me? But I mean, this is just a reoccurring pattern with this point. Like, it makes sense about how, like, I have a parlay constantly with people who, like, every single time it gets close for the past, like, 4 games. I think since Mass Effect 3. I've had a parlay with a friend over and over again. I keep getting free money off this bum, but I keep telling him he's the whole doomer where it's like, oh, BioWare's gonna shut down after this game. I'm like, all right, want to bet $50 if they shut down in a year after the flunky? Okay, sure, bet it. Doesn't happen. Give me my money. I've done this for like the past 3 games I've come, and it's just a recurring pattern where they're like, oh yeah, Veilguard coffin, Anthem's gonna be the nail of the coffin, and Andromeda's gonna be the nail of the coffin. And it reoccurred. Unfortunately, it kind of matches what this CEO said. Oh, it doesn't matter however the quality is or whatever it is. But again, like we said with Expedition, like we said, time. A lot of people try to put it on and say, "Oh, the devs at BioWare are incompetent." I know some of them, and I know that they're not. Matter of fact, those same devs that people were talking about with Veilguard, they're the ones that worked on Mass Effect Legendary. Have you seen the scoring? Yeah, it's a remaster, but you see all the quality of life updates. These are people that were like there from the OG. They were there building the original Mass Effect. They know what was required to build. It's just, it was a different time and era, and EA is not, they don't care that much about that compared to Madden and FIFA. Money. You're never going to see them try to do what Sony does. They don't give a crap. The truth is, they don't give a crap about any sort of game of the year. They care more about what the bottom line is. Sure.
Can I elaborate on that too?
Sure. Go ahead.
So when I was talking about this on stream, one dude in my chat, he's like, and this is why EA is going to fall off. And I said, stop right there. I said, yeah, Dragon Age didn't sell well and it didn't review well, but I was like, EA's not going to fall off, and the chat goes crazy. I was like, see, here's the part you guys don't understand about business. What keeps a public business afloat is the amount of money they made. EA had 4, I repeat, 4 of the top 10 selling games of 2024. That includes Madden, FIFA, college football, and the MVP bundle. If you don't know what that is, that's a bundle of college football and Madden for like $100 or something like that. They had, and this is a real stat, look this up. Then you add in the microtransactions plus owning 4 of the top 10, not the 4 best reviewing games, the 4 best selling games. Then I pulled up their share price. It was up like 5%. Them bitches going for like 130 a share. I was like, they are printing money hand over fist over there at EA, thanks to fucking Madden and FIFA drones. They can't let that shit go. And then EA college football went crazy last year, so they're like, oh, we about to start pumping this shit out every year too. So then they're looking at this, and that's why they're talking about people the way they are. So like, no, EA is not going to fall off anytime soon because their sports games sell like fucking crazy. But what was you about to say, Ethos?
No, that's the point, is that their games always sell like crazy. It's not going to matter what you try to do or you try to say about, oh, well, this will be the nail in the coffin. This, a lot of these companies, the problem is a lot of gamers perceiving, kind of what you said about the same thing about perceive the shows, where you're just like, gamers are naturally very selfish, and a lot of them lack the nuance to look outside of themselves, and they think everything needs to be pandered, which we'll get to eventually, need to be pandered towards them. And if it's not pandered towards them, it's trash, or it's woke, or it's DEI, and which is a hypocrisy within its. But then the interesting thing is that what they're not understanding, they are contributing to this. EA is not printing dollars out of thin air. These are people who are actively participating in this cycle. So you can tell me on one hand that you're fed up, but like I've said time and time again, I don't understand why, especially YouTube comments can never understand. They blame it on a whole assortment of things, but the point is, it takes two to tangle, and the point is, y'all are tangoing with them. Because if what you say online, care about this, this game failed, so that obviously that gamers are done with this, you guys wouldn't be supporting this stuff. You wouldn't be buying it. You wouldn't be playing. They wouldn't be having records and over records yearly every single time about how much money they pulled from Madden, from FIFA, from Call of Duty. It just shows a lack of self-awareness that you guys are contributing to. And while you can just say, I'm not doing it. Well, obviously, if you're not, for one person of you guys who swear you're not doing this, there's 20 other gamers doing this, and you're just perfectly fine with this. So at this point, you have to just accept that this is a culture now, and it's been ingrained so far and so deep into the younger generation that this has become normalized. That really, honestly, you lost the war. It's over. You complaining online today, the truth is we lost the war. I hate to say it, wake up. We lost. It's over. And you complaining and yelling and DOSing and DDoSing, wake the fuck up. And DOSing devs isn't going to fix that. And you yelling about DI isn't going to fix that. The problem has been is capitalism. It's always been the boogeyman has been been what has been ruining your favorite hobbies for years. It ruins everything. Think of any sort of hobby that you liked that now you feel like is trash, and I guarantee you, if you go and you dig into deeply what is causing the problem, I promise you, it's not ideology, it's money. It's just pure greed and money. That's what's driving all these decisions. Not ideology, just pure fucking money. So the truth is, we're cooked. That's it. We're cooked. There's no fixing it. I don't think there's fixing it. I know people love to push the idea of like, we need a crash to happen. I'll be honest with you. I don't even think even if there was a crash that would fix I don't think people would just miraculously wake up one day and be like, wow, the things we did caused the whole thing to crash. We can look at right now in our history in America to prove the point that no, we will repeat the same mistakes. We do not learn from. We will repeat the same things that in the past over and over again, and it becomes this funny cycle over and over again. A similar effect, a different taste of it about why the game's crash happened originally, a different side of the coin, but very similar in the reasoning by greed once again. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's nothing we can do. There's nothing. The only thing you do is support what you care about. Word of mouth is key. This is why Expedition. Play the shit you like and be like Watts. Just play the shit you like. Don't play the shit you don't like and support the games you want to support and show that you actually genuinely care. Stop yapping on the internet, making and talking on podcasts about how you care about that. But I don't see you on Twitch. I don't see you on YouTube making videos about the shit you do like. Okay? That's what I'm saying. That's it.
More positivity.
You can get mad all you want. I don't give a fuck.
Any thoughts on being a nerd in a cave, Watts?
What's the Star Wars meme? It's a simple life, but it's a quiet simple life. But I love it.
It's true. I'm sitting here having the time of my life. I just play games all day. This is a perfect example, actually, of what we were talking about, of devs telling these higher ups, like, we want to do this, and them going, no. Because part of that conversation of him saying that is like, nerds will buy it anyway, is the devs were saying, we want more time to make this game good. The devs want to work on the games to make them good. Then you would think good game equals lots of money, but I don't know what's going on with the CEOs. A lot of them don't play games. A lot of them don't understand gamers. They don't understand the landscape. They just look at, well, this game is making $1 billion, so can we just do that? And it just doesn't work like that. So I'm not surprised that it's someone from EA saying that. Not surprised. And I feel very bad for devs that are working on RPGs under EA because it sounds like they're never going to be allowed to just do the stuff that they think that they know is going to do well.
The worst part is I know they can do greatness. That's the worst part.
Oh, yeah.
Is like I know for a fact. Like I've seen like they can cook. It's just they never get the chance to prove it. And I just wish they just one day just get the whole like, we will give you as much time. We are making boatloads of money. Just if you got to take 5 years to build this, 7 years, take it, right? And if that allows you to then come out one day on E3 out of and show the most mind-blowing demo of what Mass Effect or new IP, new RPG, and it just blows people away the way that people see Project show Witcher 3 first time. Like if that's what it takes, like I feel like they could do it. I don't ever believe.
You know what the solution
I truly
is?
don't believe it's ever. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
It sounds like to me, Madden, FIFA, and college football is subsidizing everything else at EA. And if that's the case, like they want to print money hand over fist, or at least break even on these RPGs that they're producing. The solution is downsize the teams and make smaller games, make more experimental
Make small
things.
teams, make smaller games.
You'd
let
make
them
your money
cook.
back.
But I don't think EA understands that. I don't. That's the thing. I wish I could just talk to the CEO. Like, what is going on in your mind? Maybe there's some like hidden math ledger that I'm not seeing that I can't understand. But I feel like it'd make more sense about like why are we potentially throwing millions of dollars behind a big budgeted project that we're not sure of the viability if it's going to be and that's going to cause us to hire a bunch of people that we're probably going to end up laying off if being a why are we not just, well, we already made a bunch of cuts with BioWare, and now they're a smaller team. Why are we not just letting them incubate and make a smaller game? Or let's just make them make 2 smaller games and just spread out the risk. So if one game flops, but the other ones are good, we're still good.
The worst part is the formula's right there. They have Split Fiction. Didn't it already sell like 3 million there? They have the formula.
Yes, and EA helped publish that. They funded that damn game. That's what frustrates me. It's
Split
like
Fiction.
you have funded good games. What the hell are you doing?
They have,
A lot of these executives, unfortunately, are very naive and they're very ignorant. And I think a lot of this attributes to what Watson Nito said, because they don't play games. They don't understand what gamers want. Like I don't think they even talk to gamers and be like, hey, what do you like? Like you could just walk to anybody on the street and be like, hey, what if you could make your perfect game and I gave you if I gave you $50 million, what type of game would you make? Like you can get a census on people and they just don't do it because they don't play games. They don't understand what we actually enjoy, what we're looking for. So that attributes to a lot of the reason why like they wouldn't do something like you said, Ethos. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. A lot of, especially because a lot of these execs, they also move from like business to business. They may come from something that has nothing to do with video games, just because they were good at business and they have a portfolio of making a certain dollars, then they end up getting the head honcho spot at this big video game company, and then they come in again and then you hear these comments say, I don't even play video. It's like, what are you doing there?
Yeah,
maybe
that's actually
right person.
Yeah,
but somebody felt like they were the right person because they know how to make money, and that's the problem.
And I think what you were saying is that's probably why Game Pass and Xbox is thriving right now, because I may not agree with everything that Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond does, but we do know for a fact, looking at their social accounts, they play games. And so there might be a little bit more of a passion there. And that's why
too many.
True. That might be why that's why their press conference hit as well this year. Versus EA CEOs, they're just like more mad. And just like,
it's crazy because I mean we were shitting on like Microsoft conferences for a while, like before they like really decided, hey, what do people want to see? They just want to see games. So that's what they've been doing the past couple of years. Just show the games. You ain't gonna do nothing else. Just show the games. Show us what you got coming, and let the games speak for themselves.
It's because they bought all them damn studios 5-6 years ago, and they had nothing. Like now, we're finally starting to see the fruits of like owning all these labels. They're just firing on all cylinders. I think it just took time to get all them projects out the window, and hopefully they can keep up the momentum.
But yeah, going back to EA real quick. I mean, normally this would alienate any fan base, but Unfortunately, he's right. That's all I gotta say. Unfortunately, he's right, and it's terrible. I agree with Ethos, man. Like we're cooked. I don't think there's anything that we can do. But on this podcast, at least want to continue to enlighten the youth. So we understand that this is wrong and things should change. But unfortunately, I think we're too far gone. So I don't think that there will be anything that we can truly do unless like there will be some way in an alternate universe that we can all come together and vote with our wallet and be like, hey, I don't like this. What are you doing? And then don't contribute to the things that we don't like.
And the unfortunate victim of this money first mentality from EA is another RPG got canceled since the last podcast. And that would be the Black Panther game that EA was working on. Is being developed by Cliffhanger Studios, which from my understanding was a new studio within EA. This would have been their first game. A couple reports on them, but I've read all this, like I memorized it. So from my understanding, the original report of why the game got canceled was EA stated that the game was in pre-production for 4 years and they barely had anything to show for it. They had just passed the first, from my understanding, the way EA works is they have certain milestones, and if you pass a milestone, then they'll continue to fund your game. After 4 years, they had just passed the first milestone. So then they shut down the game because they felt like the game wasn't producing what it needed to be producing, which is unfortunate because another rumor came out and it said that Cliffhanger Studios is working on a game that would feature T'Challa, Killmonger, and Shuri, and it would feature some type of Nemesis system, which is weird because the Nemesis system is patented by WB, so maybe they found a way to reverse engineer it. But it was sounding like they were trying to create this maybe open world Black Panther game where your decisions really matter between all these different characters and within Wakanda, and it would have some big type of implications on the storyline, which is unfortunate because it sounds fire. But I gotta say, if these reports are accurate, and they were 4 years into development and didn't have much to show, because according to this article, it was because the Nemesis system they were trying to do was so complex that it was hard to go past that. I hate to say it, I kind of understand EA canceling the game. If you had 4 years of development and there wasn't anything there, and they money first, it doesn't surprise me. How are we feeling about this, Watts?
It's always sad to see another game get canceled and a studio shut down. I think that's always really sad. It sounded like what they were coming up with was cool, everything that I've heard about it, and it seemed like they had a lot of super talented people there, which is generally always the case. But I know what you mean about, if they've been given a certain amount of time to come up with something and then they haven't really shown much. I understand it. It's just hard. It's hard to say without seeing the game, right? It's I could have seen it and go, oh no, we got to keep that game. That game's got to keep going. EA totally doesn't get it. Or it could be the other way and be oh yeah, this doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It's kind of hard to say. It would have been cool to see. Would have been really cool to see. I hope they can maybe do it again.
I wish they would have kept funding it. I seen some people say in my chat, they were like, oh, we're not surprised. There's no market for Black Panther. I was like, what?
What?
Nah. I believe Black Panther is, if not the highest grossing, it's in the top 3 MCU movies. What's the name? The Black Panther DLC in that Marvel Avengers game was the only part anybody liked. So I don't know what people are talking about when they say that.
No, there's a huge market.
Matter of fact, there's a new Black Panther comic book that just came out, and it's causing a lot of controversy because T'Challa. I don't want to spoil it, but look it up. It's called Marvel Knights, but Black Panther might be a white man. But anyways, he's in the zeitgeist. He's in the zeitgeist. It would have sold. I don't believe that bullshit. What are your thoughts on this though, Jay?
Yeah, if these rumors are true, then yeah, another sad moment. Why they do that to Black man? Always a Black man. I think this is another lesson learned. I feel like we've been talking about this the entire pod. Maybe not be under a big conglomerate like EA so that you have more time to cook by yourselves. I know that is better said than done because at the end of the day, you're under a big publisher like EA because you do not have the funds, unfortunately, to create whatever you want and you need those resources. So that's the unfortunate reality of it. But man, if they were really attempting to make a Nemesis system, that's what makes me even more sad because I've been wanting the Nemesis system for a long time, and WB is so terrible for patenting this and not giving it out to anyone. I will forever be upset with them. WB, like I said, it's World War WB until they away because it's really, really bad. Again, we're talking about bad execs. look at Zaslav. He is one of the worst execs to ever exist. Like, he is killing video games, he is killing movies, killing the entire WB legacy. It's really bad. So, like, I don't know what happened, but I really want to see this. So if not Cliffhanger, I want somebody else to do it. Like, fuck it. I don't care about that patent. I don't care if they sue you. Just do it. I bet you that shit will sell.
World War WB is fucking funny, bro. WB needs to fight back because they over there cooking with that Marvel token and all these other Marvel stuff coming out. WB ain't got nothing. Meanwhile, Mortal Kombat 1 getting shut down damn near because they ended the content. I didn't put it in the notes, but they stopped making content for that game after 1 year. WB is fucking up. What you think of this, Ethos?
It's sad. I have a feeling it was going to be really good. Get delayed. It's hard. So, like, I get it takes a lot of time to nail down a concept or get it to work in the way that you want it to. I mean, I see both sides. I feel like at one side, like, you gotta let creators get time. Get also that you give them time and it's still not. It doesn't get to a place that you feel like is good. So that's a little bit sad. But I mean, that's kind of the reality of the. So I don't agree with it. I don't disagree with it. I think the game would have been fire. I just think that. Sometimes you do have to close it up and say enough, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it shouldn't take that long before you start to notice problems. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't take, we don't have a game. Like, I feel like you should be able to, like, communicate that there might be, like, some roadblocks. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's kind of my, like, take on it.
Yeah, freaking. The good news is we still have the Captain America Black Panther game coming, but that got delayed. So now we don't have one. One got delayed, which means we don't know if that one coming out, man. We got to get one at least from one of these studios or something, man. Show some gameplay. Last but not least, in regards to EA, we're going to triple article on EA. If you want to know if EA is not making Black Panther games and they said that RPGs are for fucking nerds, what is EA's focus going forward? Well, during their earnings call to their board, all their investors, they revealed, EA's president said, the company is going to be focusing on more of a small handful of franchises. They said they're going to be focusing on Battlefield, The Sims, Skate, and Apex Legends, and of course they're not going to drop Madden, FIFA, and college football. So if we take a look at all these games, what do all these games have in common? Say it with me, guys. Microtransactions. Battlefield, Sims, Skate fans, I hate to break it to you, but that game's in the yellow for me. I wouldn't get your hopes up for that one. Apex Legends, microtransactions. But that Skate game, it's going to be microtransactions out the woo-wah, bro. They said we're focusing on money. Fuck creativity.
We're focusing, yeah.
Oh boy! I mean, they're telling us what we already know, technically, but I'm not surprised at this.
You want a kickflip? $5. Blue T-shirt, $15. How does that make you guys feel?
That's crazy, bro.
Fuck Apex Legends.
That's fantastic for that shit.
Just keep giving me Star Wars, like just let Respawn keep making Star Wars, and then that'll be it. Apparently, they're still trying to do this Iron Man game too, which people have forgot about. But I wouldn't even be surprised if that gets canceled too.
Yeah, we ain't seen nothing from that, and then the way they did Anthem, so I wouldn't get my hopes up on the damn
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like you got right there, but I'm not expecting anything from that Iron Man game.
I hope they keep doing the EA creators thing program that they have. That's like I'm always keeping an eye on that. I don't keep an eye on EA a lot, but what they're doing under that program, I'm always keeping an eye on that because that's where the good games are. I think that's where Split Fiction is. That's where all those games are.
True.
More Split Fiction. Also, since you're focusing on all these microtransaction live service games, EA, what I will say is since Star Wars, the third one, whatever it's going to be called, Jedi, I don't know, upcoming Jedi or something, I don't know. Make sure to give them time to optimize the game because that was the main criticism of Jedi Survivor. The optimization was ass. That game was great, but it did need to run better. So give them the time because they y'all last beacon of hope, and I need y'all to finish this damn trilogy. I need to see what happens to 50 Cal Kestis, man. That's what I need to know.
50 cal Kestis.
I mean, was he not 50 cal after the end of the second game?
He did have that blicky on him. He did have that blicky.
That man was on some other shit. Him, that's all I got on the show notes. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to add to the conversation before we wrap this up?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, ladies first. Watch, you got the floor. What's your closing statement for Gaming Illuminati episode 165? Go.
We talked about a lot of games, but I'm going to just mention one indie game for you guys to check out, put into your search engines, check out the trailer. It's one of the ones that I thought looked really, really good from like the Future Games show and all those other shows that happen. It's called Crisol Theater of Idols. It's a first-person horror action game set in a twisted version of Spain. And it's like creepy. You use your blood for weapons and ammo, and it just looks really cool. I saw that trailer and I was Crisol.
Okay.
And I saw the trailer. I was sat through all of these games things, every single one, and this trailer came on, and I was like, okay, we might have something here. And it's coming out on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, not just a PC like a lot of other indie games tend to be. And it's being published by Blumhouse Games, which are like big. It was created an indie publishing company by some horror movie veterans. And yeah, I thought it just looked cool. Check it out. It's coming this year, apparently.
I pulled it up on the podcast screen, so they'll be able to see it if you guys want to check out.
Yeah. Check it out. Check it out.
I was like, I don't know how to spell that shit.
It looks cool.
All right, Ethos, what's your closing statement for episode 165? Go.
Working on another game prototype. I've been working on it since the beginning of this year. And
breaking news, world premiere.
Breaking news.
We didn't even know this.
I'm not going to show it until it's ready.
Ethos, you know what they're going to say, right?
What?
Where's the other game at?
Oh, I already explained what the other game is at. If they don't understand where, ask where all those jobs went. But what I will say is I've been working on it by myself, right? But the most exciting news is what everyone complained about. The game is not a Souls-like, and it's not. There you go, boom. So I dodged all the bullets. So game should be instantly game of the year. And if it's not, I'm blaming you guys, just like.
You're blaming the nerds in the basement.
I'm gonna blame the nerds.
Woke. That's why. Jay, what's your closing statement? Go.
I appreciate everybody for listening to another pod. We went over a ton of games. Again, I don't ever want to hear anyone say that there aren't any games to play, because right now everyone on this panel is definitely not a shortage of things to play, and it's a lot that has been announced is coming out next year. So I think that, again, gamers are just eating, and I hope that, again, you are more conscious about what you like and don't like. Maybe there will be a very slim chance that we will see some change in gaming. I think that there is hope now after seeing what devs behind Expedition 33 has done, and I do agree that I want that to be my game of the year. I don't think anything else is going to touch that.
And my closing statement for episode 165 is I appreciate everybody coming through and checking out the podcast. Today is June 10th, 2025, in which we are recording this episode. It's a Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, which is New Comic Book Day. Chapter 9 of Absolute Batman will be dropping on Wednesday. First appearance of Absolute Bane and Absolute Raja.
What a nerd.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Did you just
crazy?
You referenced Absolute Batman kicking the baby earlier in the podcast. You fucking fraud.
Hey, cut that clip.
I don't hear that shit. You read some of it either. It's gas. If you want something to read, I'm not a Batman fan, but Absolute Batman is gas. The new one drops tomorrow. First appearance of Absolute Bane. Check it out. Appreciate everybody who came through to the podcast. If you made it this far, also leave in the comment section hashtag Justice for Silksong fans. Hit the like button, rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Gaming Illuminati podcast, which should be sooner than usual. So stop bitching in the comments. Peace.
Bye.